Hi, Evan. We're back
Nathan.
with a DC extravaganza. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, James Gunn confirms the release date of Superman Legacy. Which is true.
For the second time.
We meet again for the last time.
Yeah, we're back. This can be a big one. We have a brand new MCU movie. Whenever those comes out, we love to do, give our thoughts, deep breakdowns, the usual. And then we had a Loki finale, major, I guess, series finale that I didn't see coming. So I'll give
you.
They always get me.
Every time I'm in, they kick me out.
I'll give my complicated thoughts. Thursday was an emotional roller coaster for me because I was like, wow, what a fantastic second season of Loki. I literally whispered to Jill and I was like, wow, he's in hell right now. We're going to have to, get him back. And then I see a tweet saying, no, that's it. I'm like, oh,
good night.
Then I have some questions. Then I definitely have some questions. I'm not on the opposite end of a lot of people who said this is the best thing since sliced gods. I was gonna say sliced bread, but Loki God, it makes sense. People laugh. Anyways, thank you. That's why I pay you the big bucks. But
109, oh boy.
So yeah, I have complicated thoughts on the Loki finale, but I had a blast with the Marvels. Can we talk about that? It's funny, Nathan. This is our first podcast post SAG strike ending.
Yes, I think. You would be right? Correct.
That's amazing. We 118 days. SAG, the producers have finally realized we're idiots. Let's just succumb to the deal.
They didn't say that. They were like, fine.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I'm giving them too much credit.
Because you remember their best, latest, final offer, 20th anniversary director's cut offer.
Best and final offer. If they don't like it, fuck it. Narrator. 2 hours later. Yeah, 2 hours later. Fine. Okay, let's renegotiate again. Okay. So yeah. Anyways,
they really thought they had something. They thought they had the power.
They did. SAG was like, well, no, we'll continue. We'll let this last a couple more days. Come on. It doesn't matter. We can wait all day. Like, please. Dune 2 already supposed to come out. We need help. Come on.
We need promotion.
The Marvels is coming out. We need help. Feige was like, end it, please.
Yeah, Feige was like, help! I'm drowning! Look at their box office. Your fault. Click. Iger's like, shit. I'm scared.
Iger's like, I don't believe Feige. Assistant, tell me the Marvel's box office numbers. Sir, they're not looking too good. Okay, fine. No, I'm kidding. But go see the Marvel people if you're still, not out there seeing him. Me and Nathan are probably on the same wavelength. There's not a lot of times. What? Oh, saw it twice. Nice.
I did a back-to-back screen.
Of course you did.
But I didn't go to the IMAX, and I'm sad.
Yeah, I went to regular. Usually I saw fucking Ant-Man in IMAX. I don't know why I did that.
Me too. I went Dolby for both, just because I wanted the most crowds.
Oh, did you get a good crowd for Marvels?
Yeah, actually, I my first one, it wasn't like super full, but it still got like a really good pop, and then the next one was even more engaging because it was a bigger crowd. And oh boy, that end credits was fun.
Did you record it?
I sure did.
You did?
Can't play it. I'll get copyrighted. Yeah,
I'm kidding.
I do. This is why I am what I am, and what I am is.
Don't say you are. This is why you are. You are. No, nobody's listening to this besides you. You're that one. You can be this one old crazy person.
They'll come out. I have my own Disney vault.
You can be the one old crazy person on CSI, and they go to his house, they barge in, and he has all these videotapes. Like, oh shit! And it's actually just tapes of audio from Marvel movies, not what other people are thinking of. So yeah, that's weird. So yeah, I guess we should start with Loki.
That a fact?
I guess it is. Funny enough, this is the least amount of notes I've taken for a Loki episode. Nah, I'm lying. I think episode 1 or 2 of this season was pretty light. A couple episodes this season are pretty light, but compared to like the last 2, I was kind of like into it, and I was kind of like diving into what could possibly happen with this finale. And we got our finale. I don't know how to start this off, Nathan. I don't know.
First off, breathe.
Help me out here.
It's okay. It's not the end. You're gullible.
It is the end. Series is over.
Yeah.
Is there season 3?
You know, Loki.
Is there season 3?
Originated.
Is there season 3?
The show, and he'll continue on after.
That's bullshit.
Is it though?
I think the same thing. I don't want to reiterate my spiel from Doctor Strange Multiverse of Midness. But what?
Don't you hold your tongue. This is my show. You didn't even get to say that. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have magical notes floating around me. Fucking ass movie.
That's fucking cool. How dare you? Are you serious?
I'm kidding. That's a cool scene. He does, folks.
General area, I don't know his address.
You have the technology. Anyways,
we have the runners. Is what we
have. What was I gonna say? Yeah. I mean, same thing except from Doctor Strange, where it's like I hated how Wanda went out. People are like, "But Evan, you'll see her again." Yes, I know that.
Then what's wrong?
The execution of the thing she was just in is what's wrong. I didn't like her story arc in Multiverse of Madness. Very, not it for me. I didn't like Loki's ending here. No matter how I have such complicated feelings. I think I had the same feeling having seen Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning this summer, where I'm like, everything. I love that movie. I saw it 4 times. I saw Mission Impossible 4 times. 4 times. I love that movie, but there's a part of that movie, and people who know me, they know what. There's a part of that movie that I just can't not reconciliate with. It bugs me, and the more the director talks about it, I'm like, oh, it bugs me even more the more you talk about it. And I'm having the same thing with Loki's ending, and Sylvie's ending, and B-15's ending, and Ravona's ending. It's like I tweeted out the only character that is pretty full circle. I can't say full circle because Loki technically got a full circle, but like Mobius had a happy ending, great ending. But even Mobius, I'm like, Mobius retires. This is full spoilers, as the bottom says. But Mobius retires, and I'm like, you know what? That's a great ending for Mobius. He's looking out the sunset. He could or could not go back to his children. We'll have to wait and see, or I guess just see, because we might see him again in Deadpool, right? I'm like, he could be in Deadpool 3. If he showed up in Deadpool 3, it's going to feel so jarring compared to what we see with this ending here in the finale. I don't know. That's for me at least. I'm like, okay, this is a good ending for him. Then next time I see him, I'm just going to be talking to Deadpool, cracking jokes again. I'm like, there's a disconnect there for me. But yeah,
it'll be a break of time for you.
Yeah, I guess. Thank God the movie got delayed. Only one Marvel movie next year. I'm like, whew.
And it's that one. Are you happy? I'm happy.
Deadpool 2 didn't do it for me, so I don't have too much excitement for it.
But Hugh, you love Hugh.
3. Hugh's great. One of the best yellers in Hollywood.
He really is. You watch
one of the
Prisoners?
best
My God.
Prisoners. Where is she? Where's my daughter? I can't do it justice, but fantastic. It had Jake screaming. Jake still has nightmares to this day.
Every time I think of Jake screaming, I only think of like the mirror scene in Nightcrawler.
Yeah, wasn't nominated, but thank God Bradley Cooper was. Still one of the biggest snubs of all time. Anyways, so yeah, Mission Impossible didn't sit well for me. In this finale, wow, yes, it's full circle for Loki. And he's burdened, quite literally burdened, with glorious purpose. But it's just so sad to me. Like it's extremely depressing for me. Because it follows a trend that's just happening in a lot of American media. A lot. And especially the MCU, where our heroes are sacrificing themselves. And we're expected to sit here, applaud it, clap for it, and I can't do that anymore. I'm tired of it.
You are right. We have had an abundance of like the world is saved, but the hero has lost.
The hero is lost. We were like, you know what? That was a fantastic. That was great. It made and this will happen every time. People in the audience will say it made sense, and I would sit there and reply with, of course it makes sense. The writers wrote it so that it makes sense to their story that they were telling.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just not satisfying given what their past lives were. Like for Iron Man, huge arc, sacrificed himself for the greater good. Even then, that one wasn't as bad, but it's still just like, oh, we're finally introduced to him actually having a family. Okay, there's a future there. Punished. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead.
Punished
You're dead. Scarlet Witch. Family, you say? Oh, they're not real.
You chuckle.
They're not real. Sacrifice yourself. Bye. Red Cloud. Rubble. Bye. She'll be back. I know. Anyways.
They're out there. Young Avengers. We'll get them. Where's Vision?
She'll be back, and then she'll get shafted in another project too.
Stop.
What? Unless it's a WandaVision 2. Nah, not gonna happen. Unless it's
Isn't
a
that
WandaVision show. She's gonna be an act of the show, which then she'll definitely be shafted because it's not her show. Anyways, but at least we're gonna get some Billy and Tom. Whatever his name is.
Tommy. We got it.
I was close. At least we're gonna get some kind of with them. I don't care. But with Loki, this is a character, and it's funny for me because Loki season 1 was that 2019 or 2020? 2021. 2021. In a post-Tross world, and yes, I'm bringing up Tross for the millionth time.
Did that make sense, by the way? For the
no, especially given what they. Anyways, I've talked about this ad nauseum, but yeah, the Tross Kylo death is the biggest one for me in recent memory, where I'm just like, wow, like he sacrificed himself, but it made sense. It's full circle for Kylo.
And I think like our biggest thing about that, our biggest gripe is the fact that it's the last installment.
It's the last installment. There's no.
There's not even a ghost.
There's not even a ghost. He doesn't utter a word.
There's no reconciling.
Lines. Besides, ow.
In the last 40 minutes, they gave him that wonderful scene with Han, and then they were like, "That's enough."
That's enough. Nah, with Rey, his polar opposite, his polar connection. Nah.
We got lightning to shoot.
We got lightning to block with weird. Let's quote Iron Man from Avengers Endgame. Anyways,
good God.
Tross was a movie people.
Did they act because it was the same?
I am all the Jedi. Come on. In a Star Wars movie, I am all the Jedi. That's a horrible line.
Viewers, let's keep in mind also that we love Rey.
I love Rey
immensely.
I'm more upset about Rey getting shafted in Tross than Ben actually. People might not know that, but I think Rey's character gets shafted even more so than Kylo. Anyways, what was I gonna say? But a lot of similarities there between Tross and this movie. I bring that up because Loki here is a character who I was very much connecting to in a post-Kylo world. I'm like, okay, this is a guy, a variant of Loki. Because I was never on the team that was super upset about his death in the Sacred Timeline, the OG Loki. I felt like, okay, dang, Thanos got him, but it made sense to establish the horrific nature of Thanos and his, strength and his imposing doom. And then giving us a variant of Loki, I'm like, okay, the only other reason to give us a variant of Loki if it's going to change the trajectory of his character, right? And yes, he didn't die here. He's alive. He'll probably be back in a future MCU installment. He'll most definitely be back. I don't even question that. But his ending of seclusion, loneliness, his burden here to maintain the infinite timelines, without the connection that he's come to love to have, that he just said to Sylvie in episode 5, I did all this to save my friends. And he did this. He's doing what he's doing right now as the god of time restores, however everyone has described his current situation. He's doing all this to save his friends because he said there was no other way. Mm-hmm. I guess there wasn't. And it's so extremely tragic to me. He did all this and he's burdened with living a life of solitude, just like He Who Remains. I was like, damn. And it hit me when I was watching the finale, but I thought again, okay, we'll get a season 3. And people are then like, well, how will you redo it? How else are you going to maintain what we have now if Loki's gone out of the picture? I don't know time. I'm not a writer. So I'm not going to create a scenario, a plausible scenario to how to fix this, because it probably isn't anymore. But my thoughts are, it's once again a sacrifice, because that's what it is. This is extremely a sacrifice. He sacrifices his free will to save the free will of the others, the friends, of the loved ones, of Sylvie, of Mobius. And for me, that's just extremely tragic. After, getting this character, especially in season 1, where he was establishing all these close relationships and friends, connections. Season 2 is all about maintaining those. And then to rip that away from us at the very last minute is just so depressing. And then that, of course, alludes to Sylvie now. Sylvie, who, was stuck living alone in season 1. She was going from disaster point to disaster point, living a life of solitude. She finds Loki. She finds a loved one. They kiss in season 1. I'm like, fantastic. Of course, they don't give us another kiss in season 2 because can't do that for some reason. And that's a whole other can of worms I'll get into later. But it's like, now she's alone again, but at least she has Mobius and B-15. No, her only connection was with Loki. Let's be serious here. She's not going to go out with a cup of coffee with B-15.
She could.
Maybe she could.
Now the TVA is, something good.
Good, you're right. She could, but has the show established those dynamics? Not necessarily.
In a season 3, they could.
Right, but it's like Sylvie hanging out with Mobius is like you hanging out with a friend who's a friend of a friend. It's like without that friend, we talked about this, right? Without that friend,
we did.
I don't know where we were talking about it with, but
I think in Spider-Man.
Maybe Spider-Man, yeah. Yeah, it was like Harry and whatever, or Miles and Harry.
Miles and Harry, yeah.
It's like without that centerpiece of Peter being in there, it's kind of awkward. And then now with Sylvie talking to Mobius or B-15, that's basically it. It's kind of awkward. That's why the final scene with Sylvie and Mobius felt kind of off to me, even though I did love Mobius's final scene. Mobius's fantastic final scene. Sylvie being there was just like, wait, what are you gonna do now, Sylvie? She just smiles. I'm like, what are you smiling for? Like, your loved one is gone. Loki's gone. You're gonna be alone again? Are you gonna go back to the record store and weep at night again? Because that's what we saw last time when you were all alone. You looked at the record store, you looked at the camera, the roof, whatever, and you started tearing up. It was obviously a sad, emotional scene. Why show us that if she's going to go right back to that? You know what I mean?
Well, for sure. I think, you're thinking the worst here.
Oh, sure. You're probably right. Like, she's happy now. She gets to live in a world that is not, dying in the state of in dire straits. But like even in that scenario, she didn't think that world was dying until she saw it dying. So why was she sad then? Right? I theorize she was sad then because she wasn't with anybody. She didn't have any friends. She was again. The show I thought was trying to tell us that her living in McDonald's alone wasn't right for her. It just wasn't. It wasn't a good.
That was also right after the pub scene, wasn't it?
Yes, exactly. What I'm talking about after the pub scene, but like earlier throughout season 2,
Mhm.
her living in that McDonald's world wasn't good for her. At least that's what I thought. It wasn't extremely satisfying. But then Loki sacrifices himself, and now we're supposed to believe now she is in a satisfied state. I fully can't buy that. I can buy a little bit of it, but I can't buy that fully. Who else got shafted? Ravonna. Disastrous season for Ravonna. Now that we can see from beginning to end where this went with her character, I guess she gets a comeuppance and dies to the purple cloud. I guess. It's not even the fact that I'm questioning what happened to me, and it's like what happened with her character, especially after season 1, where she goes to the time portal in the finale. I'm like, okay, we're gonna get some Ravonna content, some Ravonna and Kang content. It never really came to fruition. She finally gets some stuff to do of her own in that Mr. Timely episode, which was great. Like I said, there was a parallel between her and Loki, her and Kang, and Sylvie and Loki. But her and Kang, that relationship was just never mined to its potential, in my opinion. And then she gets pruned in episode 5 or 4. She gets pruned, and that's basically her arc. Like, she was bad, she wanted to get power, but I never really connected with her arc this season. Her and Mobius didn't have as strong of a connection as it did in season 1. And then 100 B15 wasn't as much of a focus this season. Now that we watched it from beginning to end, it just her arc didn't carry as much weight this season. She was just along with the theme of having to change the TVA for the better, and she was a pivotal part of that. And then now she's continuing to do that. It just felt like a very static arc for her character this season. But I say all this. I say all these characters had just a little bit unsatisfying to very unsatisfying endings. But I think the overall pathos, if that's even the right word, for this season, for this finale, was very strong. I was very invested for a lot of this finale. I just wish it wasn't the conclusion. It's that simple for me. Okay. I think a lot of this finale works a lot. It's funny, it's intense, it's emotional, and it excels at what other shows don't. And it's those dialogue between the characters. The dialogue is so powerful, so invigorating, so enticing. When him and He Who Reigns, him and Loki, or Loki and Mobius. Probably my favorite scene in the entire finale was him and Mobius redoing the interrogation scene. So yeah.
Would it be safe to sum up that your biggest grievance future-wise is that even though there's a likelihood that these characters return, they're not going to be returning in a platform that gives them this much time to breathe and develop. They're going to be within other properties.
Pretty much, exactly. And I think, especially having seen the Marvels, the movies are never, ever going to directly reference a TV show event to its potential. They'll say it in a line. Right? They'll be like, hey, Wanda, I know what happened at Westview, whatever it was called.
You nailed it.
I did? Holy shit.
It's called Westview.
Westview, sweet. I just pulled that one out of there. And then it's like Miss Marvel, or no. And then in the Marvel, it's just like, I got my power through a witch hex. Like, they'll say it in a line. It's very quick. Will it matter if I haven't seen it? No. So I think a lot of the stuff in the movies, they're going to be referencing stuff that won't matter to the context of whatever film they're in. So if we do see Loki again, they're not going to give us an explanation of how Loki is a god of time now. That's extremely complicated. Maybe I'm giving them not as much credit, but like, what can Loki do? Like, if we see Loki again being the god of time, it's going to be a la like Darth Maul and Solo, where it's like, oh, wow, I guess he is here. Yes, he is doing this. Because not a lot of people have seen Loki compared to most movies. They might talk about it more online, but I think the average person will see a movie more than a TV show. So I don't know what Loki's return will mean, at least character-wise, right? Like you just said, I think they're not going to give him much depth. They're going to be like, hey, Loki, what's up? Kind of, it'll be a quick thing. Same thing for Sylvie. If we see there's rumors that Sylvie will reappear again. Great, but is it going to have any connection to what went down in season 2? Probably not. It's going to be with her dealing with a present event in somebody else's or something event. Excuse me. So
It'd be
that's
interesting
big
gauge,
issue.
because when we talk about the Marvels, I won't bring it up yet, but there's certain someone who pops up at the very end. It's like big response from my audiences. So
great point. That's a fantastic point.
And it's like, again, not to give it away yet, but for that specific property, that's not a show that I think was probably as much viewed as something like Loki. So
not at all. Yeah.
If that's any indication, I think to your point, I think audiences are in fairly safe hands with his return.
That's a very good counter argument. Because that was probably my favorite scene. Not my favorite scene in the movie, but that was the better ending, in my opinion, than what we got with the mid-credit ending.
I'm here to defend it. We'll get there.
We'll get there. Please do, because
I will. I am a fan.
Give me some sleep pills. That's what I was doing.
Sleep pills.
That was not it.
Give me some caffeine. Fucking wake up.
Stand up.
It's coming. My time is here.
Time is it? Yeah, that's a great counter. I can't even, defend that one counter that one because so-and-so showing up at the end of the Marvels but even then, it's like she has no lines. They have no lines. I'm not gonna say who. Has no lines. Did they? Oh, did they say "Hey, who are you?" kind of thing?
Sure, but we'll go talk about it later.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it because it's great. It's great.
I was like, Evan's gonna love this. And then
I loved it.
Next one, Evan's gonna sigh.
Again, I don't know. I don't read spoilers on Twitter a lot. It's weird. I read a lot of spoilers on Twitter, but I don't really believe them. But then I didn't even see this one. I didn't even see that one at all. I was shocked. This is my first time seeing a Marvel movie. I'm surprised by an ending.
I'm happy for you.
And I was just like, holy shit. And because again, we've talked about that character appearing in other properties, but that was kind of like a no-brainer thing. It's like, oh, she'll appear in Ant-Man or Fantastic Four. There are so many rumors that they'll appear in other things. I wasn't expecting this movie. I'm like, really? This movie? Okay, cool. Anyways.
Even when I read it online, I was like, really? Because it's something I don't expect, but I'm like, fuck, I wish I didn't know that now.
Yeah. I was in my seat, laughing, smiling, cheering. It was great.
Screaming, crying, throwing up. Exactly,
minus the third part. So yeah, not a big fan of throw up.
I'd be concerned if you were.
That's my pastime. That's my hobby, actually. No.
Are you okay?
No, I'm depressed. Anyways,
are you eating, buddy?
Are you winning?
Are you winning, son?
But yeah, again with the Loki finale, so there's a lot to discuss. But yeah, Nathan, what are your overall thoughts?
Fuck, half hour in.
Fuck yeah, this is gonna be a long one, folks.
I like it.
Continue. Why do you like it, Nathan?
Oh, I need more. I had to show my work, motherfucker.
I'm not even a math teacher.
Thank you. I liked it a lot. This ending specifically, in viewing the full context of not only the season but both seasons as a whole, made it jump up significantly in my ranking of the MCU.
Good.
It is at now a cool number 4 of everything.
I'm predicting it's behind No Way Home, Endgame, Infinity War.
Not in that order, but you got it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You're wrong, but sweet.
Fucking Josh had the goal to be like, it should have been number 1. I'm like, motherfucker, it was at 20.
It was at 20? Holy shit!
There's a lot of entries at it.
Holy shit!
There's a lot of entries in this.
Damn!
There's like 45 now.
Damn! I thought you had it in your top 10. Damn!
Well, this is movies and shows.
Yeah, exactly. And the show should make it rise because the other shows have not been good.
Hey, I like all these shows.
Miss Marvel's great.
I was shocked I ended up boosting it over Miss Marvel.
I had Miss Marvel as my number like 3 MCU thing when it was airing. I probably have to revisit that because it was like present day bias, but
it's still my second favorite show.
easily, no contest.
But yeah, this I enjoyed a lot, especially watching this finale. This was maybe the most since I guess around the ending of season 1 that I was the most like edge of my seat, engaged of like, oh my god, where are we going? What's going to happen? I was feeling a multitude of different emotions that I haven't felt in a minute. Not that I'm a robot. I just mean like I was even more engaged. Not that I wasn't engaged. I want to be clear. I love this whole season, but this one was just like
you were like, I was asleep, but now I'm awake.
Right. I was a dream. But yeah, this was wonderful. I really love just so much of the character work they've done for Loki. I think this has been Tom Hiddleston's best performance as the character. What was that?
Oh, I was like, that was a truck.
Oh, okay. I thought you were playing something. I was like, what?
Oh no, I didn't hear anything.
Does he have headphones? How's this happening? But yeah, I think Evan hit a lot of nails on the head. I think he covered a lot of similar points I have, maybe some contradicting points, but I think those would be touched upon best if we discuss the episode as a whole.
Let's get into it. Because we start off here
in the beginning.
Like
from the recap.
So yeah. And wait, what's the first scene here? We're going into basically redoing, as we theorized, we're redoing what we saw with the whole explosion. He is now, he can control his time skipping. So how he's going to fix things? We got to be faster. Got to go faster
and more intense.
Yeah. By the way, episode title is Glorious Purpose, of course, which is what he's burdened with by the end of the episode, and it comes full circle with the first title of the series.
I went to go click it. I was like, wait a second. I was like clicking around. When that season went, I was like, oh shit, it's an Ouroboros.
Full circle Ouroboros. Holy shit!
Using the word Ouroboros like I've been using it all my life.
It's an Ouroboros.
Like I didn't just learn it like a month and a half ago.
I learned it mostly through my mythology class in high school, but also in Willow most recently.
Oh, I hope we can watch that again on Netflix.
I hope so too, Bob. Bob, you watching, Bob? Because you're selling a lot of content to Netflix these days. David Zaslav is already doing that. He's already selling a lot of HBO shit to Netflix. If you want to watch Band of Brothers, go to Netflix. It's really weird.
The studios are like, hey, Zaslav, you want this Willow show? He's like, can I write it off? You don't own it.
Yeah. Oh God, that guy. Fuck that guy.
For a measly the $30 million for the Acme movie.
Coyote versus Acme, which looks even more incredible than I was expecting it to be. I thought it was gonna be like a fun John Cena animation movie, live action / animation movie. But the more I hear about it, the more I hear about the production. I'm like, oh shit, it looks really good. Now we'll never see it. I can't imagine working on something for years and just never seeing the light of day. Wild to me.
It is amazing that like the entire like crew was just like, all right, well, fuck it. Boom, post.
That's how I would do too. Yeah.
But then also, one of the things that got posted ended up getting a copyright claim by the studio. So I don't know if that would be any indication of them being like, all right, well, fucking maybe one day. But it's definitely bullshit to be like, because Batgirl was completely deleted from servers. So we'll never recover that, which is atrocious. But it's like, if you're already just like ditching it, why do you care?
Copyright? I don't understand it at all. I don't know how that stuff works. I mean, that's beyond me. But yeah, back to this. We get a great Groundhog's Day, Edge of Tomorrow scenario here of Loki having to save Victor Timely. We got to be faster. We got to go up here earlier. And mostly it's confided to what's happening in episode 4 of Loki season 2, where they met Victor Timely, met him with Ouroboros, all that kind of stuff. By the end, everything blew up. So they're trying to get him down the suit, get him into the suit faster. That has to be the issue.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's not. It's not faster now. It's earlier.
Exactly. So he keeps trying to go earlier.
I love the scene. I was like every new shot we cut to, I was just like serotonin boost over the moon. Like, this is the best time travel hijinks. Just like speeding it up. Like, okay, we'll try this. All right, let's go this time again. It was so fun.
It was great. It's why we love movies like Edge of Tomorrow, or what's that one Hulu movie where they go back in time?
Palm Springs.
Palm Springs, yeah. Thank you. Like Palm Springs, Edge of Tomorrow, those kinds of movies are very exciting for audiences because it's funny. They can always go back and try and fix things and replay scenarios again and again. So I loved seeing that, especially like he starts going earlier, like when he is having that coup, when Victor Timely's in the middle of the coup with Ravonna, after she captured him, and Ravonna and Miss Minch are like, "Wait, what are you doing here?" It's like, and having them play like a retro version of Beethoven's Fifth was great. Loved it. Felt very much like a heist kind of movie. The first half of this episode is just very strong, very good on comedic timing, quick paced intensity. Like it was very fun. Like it was funny, but at the same time, it was dire because we knew what was coming.
At the point when they're reviewing the stuff of the loom and they're realizing, okay, we need to build the thing faster, but they don't, completely understand what they need to do. And Loki's like, all right, how long would it take for me to understand everything you understand? And he's like, it'd be decades. And Tommy leans in, it would be centuries. And there's a quiet pause, and it just cuts to centuries later.
That was wild.
And that just hit me of just like, I went from like, I'm having a fun time to, oh my God, I admire the hell out of this man devoting eternity to saving all these lives.
Exactly. In Loki, again, he's inherently a selfish character. He's doing this to save his friends. To save, again, he says save the world, save the TVA. But as we established last week,
the rebellion, save the
rebellion, save the dream, Rogue One, let's go. No, he wants to save the friends that he's come to love, his closest friends. And as we will see later in the episode, this whole idea of the loom destroying everything wasn't even true. Everything will be reset besides the sacred timeline. Just let it happen, basically. But Loki would lose his friends, and you can't not allow that. So yeah, that whole idea of him just doing all this to his friends, waiting centuries of just getting engineering knowledge is wild to me. It was a very unique writing choice I did not see coming, but it worked for the context of the show, and it was so ballsy. I loved it.
It was wonderful, and they had like the whole compilation of Victor dying, trying to achieve this again and again.
Whew, that was brutal. It's even the muscles tear and turn to spaghetti.
There was one specific shot where like he falls to his knees and like it starts to like peel up. You see like his bones of his face. Oh, I was like, what are we rated, Disney?
Every time I have it, I'm like, this is, and hearing the screams. Oh!
Nice. Eyes bulge. Like, Jesus.
Yeah. It was really bad.
And so when we get to like the official, the one time when we're going through and he pushes through and it has the same shot, that like big push in pause where he always evaporates and he's still there.
He's just taking in that pressure.
And then he trudges along. I was so on the edge of my seats watching that because on the one hand, I'm like, I think they might do it. And on the other hand, I'm like, this show could fucking curveball me and we might still lose. Which happens a little later than expected because it gives you that false security that like, oh, we did it. No, we didn't.
But yeah, he's doing all this. And I'm like, wow, we're early into this episode. Like, at this point, I was happy because I thought the resolution would be solved early. And then we'll get a lot of like peaceful resolution towards the end, full of this like closing out character arcs here. But it didn't happen. It was a very surprising finale, very unexpected in good and bad ways for me. But like this part of him just Mr. Timely being able to push through amidst that pressure. Like we see Loki do it later on in the finale. Just the idea of him pushing against that, it feels so visceral to me.
Yeah, and so many like the little moments of just like, hey, don't lay it down on the walkway. It's gonna roll off. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I hit the green button. Try hitting it again. It sticks sometimes.
Like you get the sense that he's tried this, as he said, over a century. He tried this a lot, which is just insane to me. And yeah, by the way, also when he's doing all this, like finishing their sentences and just doing it by himself, you see Sylvie under there like, what's going on here? I thought they'd make more of that because like she knew something was up.
Pretty much everybody was like, "The fuck's wrong with you?"
The fuck's going on?
But then results happen. They're like, "Oh shit,
it worked." Whatever.
Can't argue with that.
So yeah, he pushes the green button. It works. He makes his way back. Show's over, right, Nathan?
It looks like it for a second. Things started to run smooth, but then even OB's like, "Oh, it's working." And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, "Okay, we're good. I trust OB. We're good.
We're good."
And then the alarm starts to go off again. They're like, what's going on? And Victor himself realizes, "Oh fuck, it's a scaling problem." And they're like, "But that's what we just fixed. That's what we've been doing." And he's like, "Yeah, but we can't scale to infinite.
We can't scale to infinite." And that's when everybody's hearts just sink. And Hunter B-15 is like, "Then we gotta get out of here." And Loki's like, "There's nowhere to go." It's like it was so depressing and it was so like a huge like heart sinking moment.
And then we end up to the point where Sylvie reflects that this was it seemed this was almost destined to happen as soon as I killed He Who Remains.
Did you call it at this point? Did you call it like, oh, he's going back?
Well, no, because like pretty like immediately, then it cuts to that slow-mo shot of Sylvie going to strike down He Who Remains, and at that point I'm like, oh my god,
that was insane. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're going back here. Let's go to this because this is where I love. I'm like, okay, we're getting Loki and Sylvie. I love those two. Great. We're in the finale with Loki, Sylvie versus King, and immediately I paused it. I whispered to Jay, and I'm like, okay. So he's gonna have to kill her, but he can't kill her. It's definitely not happening. So I was so flabbergasted as to how he would solve this because I knew that King would say, then you have to kill her. And Loki wasn't gonna be able to do that.
Right. So the fights ensue where Loki goes against Sylvie and he loses continuously and he remains killed continuously. And he's like,
first off, Victor Timely gets brutally murdered the first half of this episode. Second half of this episode, He Who Remains gets brutally murdered by Sylvie.
And he likes
it. See you soon, see you soon. Now that see you soon line, it means so much more.
Even more so to like Loki in the present, just like, yeah, you'll see me again in a minute.
Very soon.
And it's so good because at that point Loki's just like, why don't you ever help? Why don't you do something?
And one of the first lines she also says, as she said in season 1, is that like, you don't want to do this because you're obsessed with the throne, which is just even more heartbreaking given the ending of this.
Like he in the season 1 finale, he had like said like, I don't want that, and he said it in like a sincere voice, but here he was even more like agitated at that because he's so tired.
He's so exhausted
by this immortality mission, and you feel the grief that like he just wants to save his friends, and he's exhausted, and so when he said that line, which sounded like a joke, but it was more so to like gauge He Who Remains so that we can actually like get the ball rolling on trying to solve this issue, which we also learned is not the first time Loki had this conversation with him, because that's when the turntables appear.
Yeah, they start turning the table or start rapping. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, this whole scene was just so, going back to the Sylvie part of it all, was so interesting to me because he can't push past her hate. Cause I think she's definitely more skilled than he is physically. But I think part of him also is just like, he's allowing it to happen because he can't give himself to do what he thinks he has to do in terms of killing Sylvie. And he can't push past her hatred. Which I talked about in terms of like this throughout the season, this idea of how like anger is crippling and it'll only lead to chaos, it'll only lead to suffering. which is exactly what happened with her, where she was living alone because she acted on anger. So then Loki having to act on, the goodness of his heart here throughout this whole finale. It was a very interesting tug and pull that I was observing here. And again, he's going against his selfish desires here, in contrast to He Who Remains, who we'll get to now, who is full on like Emperor in Tross, another Tross reference. Because he's full on, reincarnation, baby, which was just so wild to me. Like he saw all this coming.
I had also got to point out that like he said that that same reincarnation line last season as well.
Did he? Oh.
I think even like in this last episode, he was like, "I told you, reincarnation, baby." What I also love is like we saw how over the top He Who Remains like theatrical performance was, but when he has this conversation with Loki, it seems he drops that. He's just like,
he was menacing in this conversation. He was incredibly menacing and incredibly like conceited in a way that wasn't as over the top as he was in season 1. He wasn't biting his apple. He wasn't doing the whole clown shit. I mean, which in actuality now it makes more sense why he was so fucking chaotic and loony, because he was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happens.
He's like, I know what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna have fun with this.
One of my favorite bits is when he's eating the apple and Sylvie throws the knife. Loki stops it. He's like, ooh. It's very funny.
I always love when Loki and Sylvie are having the heart to heart, like about to kiss, and he's in the background just like,
and he's just like, I'll watch. Yeah, I'm like,
he's me.
I'm like, take me back. But yeah, that was wonderful.
But yeah, their primary conversation here talking about the flow of time.
Sorry to interrupt, but he makes fun of Victor Timely here in the same conversation.
Yeah,
which is very, very funny. Did you meet Victor Timely?
Which is funny because like some people were criticizing his performance, and even he in character is like, all right,
making fun of his performance. I'm like, that's hilarious. Well, not making fun of his performance, just making fun of the character itself, sure. Which is just wild to me. So this context of him not even fully caring about his other contingency plan in Victor Timely, well, I guess it was the second contingency plan, the first one being the one we're watching now, and Loki coming back to this point. It's just wild to me because now it puts even more of a selfish, conceited, and diabolical spin on his relationship to Miss Minutes and Ravonna, which we observed in episode 3, where I was like, man, he's a very, in contrast to Sylvie and Loki, who were very much, having an emotional, romantic tug and pull about like caring about each other. Sylvie puts her trust in Loki in episode 3. In this one, in episode 3, we learned like, hey, Timely is very selfish. He Who Remains is very selfish. Miss Mince is only in it for, getting Timely back. But now, this context of him not even caring about the contingency of Victor Timely, laughing about it, making it a joke, makes the relationship with Ravonna even more scarring and more depressing. From Ravonna's end, she was just basically used from beginning to end, where even giving her the power to help him get revived, reincarnation, was a second thought compared to what he's talking about with Loki, where it didn't need to happen in the first place.
It really hits a different perspective, because I think we had theorized for a while. It's like, oh, a vulnerability of Kang would be
exactly
Ravonna, but in the full context, you realize he only played the role of the emotional attachment so that he can ensure his preservation. Exactly.
That's 100% it. Like, he played into that vulnerability, which makes it even sadder for Ravonna's character arc, especially this season, and even more diabolical with Kang and his future versions. Like if there's others as dark as this one, who is just manipulating people, his romantic connections, his own vulnerability, his own human side of himself, just to fulfill his own selfish desires to sit on top of the throne. it's very dark. It's very dark, and that was a very dark aspect of this finale that I think not a lot of people are talking about. But yeah, he just didn't really care for Miss Minutes. Miss Minutes, who discussed how like you never wanted me to have a body in episode 3, which was also a very interesting line through point, which I don't think was fully developed with Miss Minutes this season.
It does feel like a bit more cruel. Like, why would you program her to have that cognitive
right?
To like, I guess it functioning more under the guise of emotional manipulation that King has.
Exactly, because again, and that leads me to criticize a little bit Miss Minutes and Ravona's arcs this season. Because again, I think we were leading towards something very interesting with Miss Minutes and Ravona at the end of episode 3. I'm like, okay, but it kind of gets undone in 4 and 5 and 6. But then it adds, like we just said, to it serves to fulfill King's arc, or it's not even an arc, just fulfill King's role in the story.
Yeah, it ensures even more the perspective. Like, yes, these people absolutely, they got the short end of the stick, and you very much feel like the unjustness and like it's very undeserved. But yeah, that just like cements the evil of our villain.
Exactly. So yeah, in all, I wish this season had spent more time going into Ravona's agency throughout all of this. Because I think even in season 1, she had more agency in terms of like her relationship with Mobius, which was so interesting.
Wasn't she the one who said she was off to find free will?
Yeah, 100%. And I mentioned that in episode 3, where I'm like, she's off to find free will, and she runs into Victor Timely in that clash of wills. There's selfish wills. Was very interesting to me. But I think the writers kind of this is a complicated show because they have to dive into like what they did with episode 4, which was game changing. But I think that kind of by doing what they did with episode 4, it kind of put them in a corner with what to do with Ravona's character and Miss Minutes' character, where it didn't give them as much agency as I was expecting following the end of season 1. Especially, again, I love Gugu Mbathu Rojas. She's one of my favorite actresses. So I was expecting a lot from her this season. I just didn't get that. And it only served to benefit Kang. It's just, I don't know. I wanted way more from Ravona. But again, Kang's evil. And that's it. But again,
she only got like 2 episodes, huh?
She only got 2 episodes. And I feel like I'm definitely blaming the writers here. But I'm like, I think Eric Martin, with maybe a couple more episodes, could have gave us something. So it's the effect of not enough episodes, as well as just, I don't know. I don't want to be that guy, but
I mean, 6 episodes is short.
It's short, but I don't know. What I'm going to say is that like Kate Herron did a lot from Ravona last season. Eric kind of just poo-pooed her a little bit this season. I miss Kate. If they said Kate Herron's back for season 3, I would be in tears. But that's not happening. But and not to say that everything Eric did was bad, but this finale really showcases the difference in like the season 1 finale to the season 2 finale, in my opinion, and how they were written. And portrayed.
I can at least appreciate the, at least, even though she didn't get the best fulfillment as a character, at least I see the purpose of like where her character ends up because of, the king of it all.
Because the king of it all. But yeah, getting that to pick a side. So yeah, this battle, this dialogue, this conversation between Kang and Loki is so interesting. He makes fun of Victor Timely. He makes fun of all the attempts, his infinite attempts. He's like, you've done this before. We've had this conversation before.
Why don't I give you a couple thousand more times, and when you're ready to have a conversation?
He's just fucking with him. And it's so evil. It is so diabolical.
Which was a great moment when Loki refreezes Sylvie. And I'm like, oh shit. Because I didn't catch it initially. I thought he was just like, all right, I'll talk. And he remains frozen, her.
But he did.
But yeah, Loki did. And it's,
So it's just, it's a smart editing choice to showcase that, like, yeah, we've been at this fight for longer than the viewers, the audience has realized, and they just didn't say the words like years later. They just said like, oh, he now has the ability to do what Kang can do.
Yeah.
So he's getting stronger in real time. So yeah.
And it's a great moment of that reveal too, because he's like, you're always my favorite.
Yeah. I'm trying to say, do I save this question? I'll ask it now. So I have a question in my notes.
False.
True or false? Is Loki better than Avengers Endgame? Anyways.
Look, Endgame was a culmination.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I hate comparing TV shows to movies, anyways. But people are like, oh, you have to rank them. Anyways,
Endgame feels like a finale anyway.
What?
Endgame kind of feels like a TV finale anyway to like a big series.
It really does. But yeah, what I was going to ask is, this is Kang's He Who Remains ideal plan, was to put Loki back in this scenario. So then, what was he expecting of Loki in this finale? Was he expecting what we see in the finale? Was he expecting Loki to become the god of stories? But that leads to his own death, right?
Right. Yeah. No, I don't think he was. I think he only expected him to choose the two options he presented, which was either he lets the loom do its thing and he ends up back here as it was always going to happen, or he kills Sylvie, and that will change stuff to save his friends. But that's still leads to He Who Remains living, because that was the whole goal for Loki.
Yeah, it'll lead to He Who Remains living, and Loki basically failing because he killed his loved one.
Yeah, and either way, it's all sacred timeline, baby. Like there's no breaking it.
Yeah, and again, this is where he explains where, hey, let the loom explode. The TVA will be gone, but sacred timeline will still be there. It's basically a factory reset.
Yeah. And I think it's like made it clear that it's not the first time that's happened.
Yeah, you just rebuild it again because we live outside of time, so we can do that whenever we want. So yeah, that was So and then Loki looks around. He does a third option basically. So yeah, okay, that kind of answered my question, because I was like, he gives Loki these powers, these unimaginable powers of time, basically orchestrated by He Who Remains. But then he just didn't expect Loki to make this third option. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's a great point, which Loki said an abridged version of this, but I have like the full quote from the literature that Loki was quoting. It's a line from T.S. Eliot that reads, "We die with the dying, see they depart, and we go with them. We are born with the dead, see they return and bring us with them."
Oh man, that's deep.
It's deep, quite a bit to unpack.
Yeah, I'm like, wow. What does Loki say in the finale? Did he say all that, or?
He said like maybe half of that. This is just the full expansion of the quote because he paraphrased.
Okay.
But when he did say it, in the moment, He Remains like gave him like a look of like, all right, like that was the first time he ever heard that. He Who Remains has now entered a bit of uncharted waters with Loki. He doesn't know what the move is.
Was that first line something about the dead? We fly with the dead. We run with the dead.
Die with the dying. See they depart and we go with them. And then it's we are born with the dead. See they return and bring us with them.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think it's primarily the ideals of rebirth.
Yeah. A little bit of rebirth and sacrifice in there.
And Ouroboros to people.
Yeah. Interesting. Good old T.S. Eliot helping us from beyond the grave. So yeah, this is also where he explains how the loom, the power is there, the Renslayer stuff. He says it's very still out there. Nothing Loki will do will affect that. Because
I love that moment of their back and forth where he's like, "We'll find them." And he's like, "There's too many." He's like, "I won't stop." And I love He Who Remains. He like leans in. He's like, "I know, champ." he admires his will, but he only sees like this is pointless. Like you don't have a shot at winning, but he doesn't see what Loki is willing to do.
And that's what's so beautiful about this. which I'll give this part credit for. Like he admires Loki's free will, and Loki's relying on hope because what Loki's about to do is take himself out of the equation, and he's hoping that his friends, his loved one, his connection that he's made will save the day for him. Because while he maintains life, he is hoping that his friend will continue that life and continue to purge the Kangs and save the day without his help. Because as powerful as he is, he can't really. Because I saw people asking this, like, "Oh, can't Loki just delete the Kangs?" No, he's in a perpetual prison of his own, will. He can't step out of that to delete a couple Kangs who already exist outside of time.
Yeah,
as we saw in
to probably an infinite scale. It's like it's too tricky, and I always admire this type of writing with villains of like them being so disconnected from any form of humanity and level of caring that they can't fathom the possibility that somebody who is so emotionally attached would be willing to part with that connection for the betterment of others. They think, well, villains are already functioning on a selfish level, so they're thinking the other side of the coin is like, your selfishness of your love and devotion, you would never give this up. You would never walk away from that because that's what you've been fighting for the whole time. You wouldn't lose that. You wouldn't walk away. But Loki is willing to do what it takes for the betterment of his friends.
He underestimates humans, not human in most fictional cases, but in this case, Loki's grit, determination, and free will, which a lot of villains don't have that. They have it on a selfish scale, and Loki's doing it on a selfless scale, which is infinite. Yeah. It doesn't take a lot to be selfless.
Yeah, and I think it's just cemented in He Who Remains' mind that, like, yeah, he's definitely not going to give them up because of how long he's been at it to stay with them. Like, it's clear in his brain that, like, he won't do that. I'm good.
Yeah. So that's what makes this finale so complicated for me, because it is a story about free will. It is a story about hope. But at the same time, it's also a very depressing story about the end results of that journey for Loki. This is very, very impactful. So yeah, about variance, Loki looks around, he sees the equation on the board, and then that's when we get my favorite scene of the episode. Instead of killing Sylvie, he walks over to her. You think he's going to kill Sylvie after having this talk, but he doesn't.
And it's at that moment I'm like, oh fuck, Evan's going to hate this finale if this goes through.
If he kills Sylvie,
because I'm also watching, and I'm like, they can't do that. And then they keep teeing it up, and I'm like, Marvel, you can't do that.
I stood up in my seat. I was like, they're not doing it. They're not doing it. They're not doing it.
And it's like, I will unsubscribe from Disney Plus.
I was close. I'm like, because at first I was like, oh, he's not doing it. Then he has the King talk, and then King reiterates it. I'm like, wait, are we really doing it? No, he's not doing it. So then he gets up to her. I'm like, wow. But then he goes back and does what we get here.
Evan, they were pulling my chain personally from like damn near the ending on that, because even when he has that talk with Sylvie at the very end, I'm like, I thought he was going to be like, can you give me anything I could say to you to get me out of this so I don't have to kill you? That's what I thought we were going.
Me too. And then she's like, I'm not going to give you permission to kill me if that's what you're asking. And I'm like, and I also
And I also know Sylvie as a character is like, there's nothing you could say to her at that moment that would sway her out of this.
No.
Unless you go earlier in like the season, which
go to her when she's a child.
Just stop Ravonna there and say, all right, cool.
Yeah, you don't want to do this. You don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, her hatred was far too strong, which is a trait I like in my stories. There's a character like that in a lot of stories I read. Like, somebody's hatred, it's unbearable. You can't break past it. You have to succumb to it. But also, there is a hope that they'll learn from their actions, and they'll climb out on the better end, which is what I hope for with Sylvie in this finale, because she is on the up and up. Like you said last week, we talk about Sylvie's hatred a lot, but every step of the way this season, she's been willing to help Loki. She's been willing to help everybody because deep in her heart, she is a caring person, and deep in her heart, she does love Loki and the friends she made from that. So yeah, but we do get my favorite scene in the series here, which is Loki talking to Mobius one last time.
From the first time.
From the one last time from the first time.
We meet again for the first time for the last time.
Whew. And this is very Attack on Titan coded, because something like that, something similar happened in Attack on Titan. I'm just like the idea of time and seeing friends, but it's so hard. Me and Jalen both were like Attack on Titan, but like him looking at Mobius, their first interaction now becomes their final interaction. Whew. This hit me hard.
It's especially sad to watch because it's Loki who we've seen so much development for these two shows, and then it's Mobius who's like factory reset.
Yeah, that's a great point. A factory reset at Mobius, delivering something we never heard from our new Mobius or the other Mobius, about his backstory. And he comes to Mobius trying to appeal to Mobius, not appeal, but just ask, what would you do during a hard choice? I have this super hard choice. I don't know what to do. He's appealing to Mobius, trying to like have his friend come up with some kind of other idea here. And he kind of nails home you have to make the hard choice. And he tells this beautiful story about a guy a guy working for the TVA who comes across these two children, and one of the children has to be pruned, but he can't do it. And this is also very effective because we know Loki or Mobius himself has two kids.
So it had to have been like something subconscious in his mind.
100%. And he's unable to pull the trigger. And because of that, a lot of other TVA agents end up dying. And Ravonna, well, we don't know Ravonna at the time, but of course he says a friend of mine comes in and, is able to prune them. And then, of course, they get promoted and like, okay, now we know that's Ravonna.
Yeah. They became the judge.
They became the judge.
Damn.
And I was like, oh my gosh, Judge Judy. No. Had to.
My favorite variant.
Yes. Yeah. So then, I want to say,
I was thinking of those memes like, I need you to distract Kang. Judge Judy, I need you to distract Kang.
Kang was standing no chance. No chance.
The whale, I need. Why is the whale in every installment?
By the way, where are those memes coming from? Is this a recent development? I need you to distract King.
I think it was around when the whale was coming out. Those like same still images were going around.
Yeah,
because it was one of those movies that always had, and so people would like they photoshopped like a full image of like an HD image, and then they took it like on a side angle as if you were in a leaked theater, as if it was like a real screenshot from Kang Dynasty. And
that's hilarious.
Insane. Yeah, and then they made a fucking new. They're doing ones right now with the killer, Michael Fassbender.
The
killer. Funny. I need you to distract Kang, and the whale is still in the man has a name, by the way. It's Charlie in the whale.
Very depressing movie. People care to watch it. Great performance. Best actor, 2022. Technically 2023. That happened this year, guys. He won Best Actor this year. It's been a long year.
I'm glad for my Japan release in Godzilla -1, I don't have to debate what year it came out because it just came out this month in Japan.
Yeah. Oh, is that because like the first one came out like 2016, 2017?
No, I'm just meaning in reference to like whenever we watch one of those
okay.
Those anime films that come out, like, you're always like, it's from last year, and I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, good point.
It came out now.
Yeah, I'm like, do I include Suzume? Japan saw it last year, but I said
Alvin's doing it. It's his number one.
Yeah, I said fuck.
I need to rewatch that, man.
Suzume is still in this finale. Everything that I talked about with like the depressing ass ending with Loki. That's why I love Suzume, because the main character is like, fuck it. Yeah. No, that's not how the story ends.
Yeah, it's always so wonderful. It's like, no. Like fate will will it to every degree of
Yes.
the birth of the entire universe and be like, no. They'll just be like, no, you can't have it. And the main character would be like, fuck you.
Which
I'm
is why I
getting
love.
it.
I'm getting it.
And I got it.
Which is why I love Ghibli and anime in general. Because anime, no matter how crazy it is, most Asian media in general says just like it goes against what a lot of American media, which is all about like, hey, if you sacrifice yourself, you're doing the right thing, which is not the case in other media. Watch more South Korean movies because I think, not you, but just audience.
I mean, I
I
want to,
because it really delivers on the idea of hope and not sacrifice. And not to say that there isn't, there's a lot of South Korean dark tales that American media doesn't get into because it's too dark. But most of the time, South Korean and Japan give us an idea of like, there's hope. They can break past fate. But anyways, this whole Mobius storyline had me like so emotional because he's telling Loki about this hard choice, and it was a very emotional scene. But it's a second reminder for Loki to do the hard choice. And I'm like, oh man, he's kind of doubling down on this decision. And I'm like, oh no. And then we go to Sylvie, another fantastic scene. And that's why I love this show so much, because it gives us these beautiful one-on-one scenes. My heart is literally pounding based on the urgency of one decision. What is he going to do? And like I said, Sylvie says, I'm not going to give you permission to kill me if that's what you need. And he's like becking her for a different outcome.
It's like, what do I do?
Yeah. I wish I wrote down some of the lines from this conversation because I don't know it as much as the other Mobius scene. But I think she basically just helps him come to realize like you have to go above and beyond. You would have to create your own different. Basically, this scene is used for Loki to come to the conclusion for him to go create his own reality, basically his own glorious purpose, what he was meant to do. And that's when we get to his ultimate sacrifice here, which I did not see coming. Wow.
He returns to the same spot at the beginning of the episode. And it's just, like, I could never imagine we get to a point like this, especially when like the season starts off of like, all right, we're gonna go full circle episode 4 where he's gonna prune himself and we'll be right on track and we're gonna get going and we're gonna save the day.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
This was wild to me. And he's going on the game plank here, just getting hit with that loom energy.
Even before that, he's slowly walking down the stairs.
Oh yeah.
He's not even letting Victor get dressed up or anything. He goes down, and he locks the door behind him, and he starts to speak to Sylvie and Mobius, who are both framed behind the door. It's wonderful.
The last two people he had to talk with, Sylvie and Mobius, and I was just.
And he says something along the lines like, I realize what kind of God I need to be for you, for all of us, which I was shown is the same lines he had at the end of Thor 1. When he's hanging off the Rainbow Bridge and Thor and Odin are holding him, and he's like, I could have done it, Father. I could have done it for you, for all of us. But it was for the wrong reasons. And
what the fuck?
I know, and it was for the wrong reasons at the time, but now it's for the right reasons. And also in quadruple stabbing at your heart, in the timeline of this Loki, that was the last time that he saw Odin in this time. So
God damn.
It's just, ow.
He lost his father. He realizes he loses his life. And now he loses Sylvie and God damn. It hurts. But yeah,
even physically speaking, like I'm getting choked up. Shit.
Yeah, this is so depressing. But then when Sylvie said like I'm gonna stop him, I thought Sylvie was gonna eventually like come up with some kind of idea to stop him, but it doesn't happen.
They hold hands and they're more powerful, and they got it
right. What happened to that?
What happened to my dyad? We keep talking about a dyad that we've only ever seen in one media. Only ever confirmed in one media.
But this show, they had them hold hands. This show was really doubled down on they were stronger together.
Even this season, like she grabs his hand, and is like, "Don't get any ideas," but like, bam, they got it.
What happened to that parallel? I would have loved that parallel. They grab hands together and they save the day that way.
Loki's in a sad boy era. He didn't think about it.
He didn't think about it.
He was blasting Meteora.
Imagine, obviously, he's blasting Numb.
He's blasting Don't Stay.
Don't stay. Oh man, go so hard. Literally, it says, "Forget our memories, forget our possibilities." Hey yo,
throw my fucking cup.
Did Linkin Park predict this?
Does anyone wonder I'm using him as influence for Time Blazer right
now? But anyways, like imagine Loki and Sylvie. This season would have been even infinitely better if Loki and Sylvie find a way to like solve it together instead of what we get here. But Loki burdening himself with this burden is also just very sad and moving. As he gets hit with that, the effects of time, his costume starts to slowly change as he with each and every step. It was so beautiful to watch. That costume is incredible. This whole sequence is incredible. The score is fantastic. Natalie Holt, thank you so much.
It's gorgeous. His crown, if you look close to the detail, it's made from the same material that He Who Remains' fortress and watch was made out of. Just like components of time forming this new identity for him as the I believe in this regard to Loki, he becomes the god of stories.
Yeah.
Which no better keeper of time than that.
Exactly.
Someone who's not here to end the stories but to write new ones.
Whew. Allow people to write their own stories, which is so beautiful. Because he's not, again, he had that little short idea of taking away people's free will in the middle of the season. And now he's in charge of it all and allowing people to create their own free will, make their own choices. As you see later on, Mobius being able to retire and, Mobius, other people making their own free will, their own choices.
Yeah. Taking the pen from the author and giving it to the people.
Exactly.
Prometheus, if you will. What was Prometheus's fate?
His fate was even darker. He was pinned to a rock, and eagles ate him out alive for eternity.
Well, look, he's certainly pinned right now.
Yeah. And all he did was trying to get fired a man.
Yeah.
Which, in hindsight, Prometheus, why? Man is stupid.
Oppenheimer, why?
Exactly.
Which, that started off with the Prometheus quote. And as soon as it did, I was like,
the brain for something special. This is going to be sick.
Movie of the year.
By the way, those Oppenheimer clips have been floating around. I rewatched the Strauss versus Oppenheimer scene. It's like the shooting gun scene.
They fired the smoke again. And I love when it keeps going. He's like, there was no spy in Los Alamos. He's like, Oppenheimer. Yeah. Robert. He just puts it up again.
And that side breath he does, like, just give him the Oscar. Can we fast forward to March? It's over. It's over. And I'm tired of people telling me Ryan Gosling and no, we're not going to give. Come on, you're not giving the Oscar to Ryan. I'm sorry.
I love him, but that was not the performance of the year.
It's not. It's not. And people keep saying it's like, oh, but he's like the pop culture moment. Sure, he is. Sure. But he's not winning an Oscar for that. He's my number 2, but he's not winning an Oscar.
This is what I said about Taron Egerton for Rocket Man.
That was abysmal how he didn't get nominated. That was crazy.
Got the Globe, though.
Got the Globe. Wait, did he get the Globe winner nomination?
He got the win.
He did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
Because what is that fucking category? What is it, fucking comedy/musical?
So did he beat Rami at the Globe?
Rami wasn't the same year. Rami was the year before.
Oh, I'm stupid then. Okay.
Rami got, because what was it? Rami got nominated, and then Taron didn't, and then somebody the following year for a biopic got nominated.
What was that? 2020? Oh, Tick Boom ish. No.
Maybe Andrew got nominated.
Andrew got nominated. Yeah. I'm just thinking musical.
Well, they are all musical biopics, so
Yeah. Andrew Garfield, by the way. Oh man, that's an instant. I watch it every Christmas now.
I was have you heard of the show The Masked Singer?
Yeah.
So I was watching my sister, and one of the judges was like trying to guess somebody, and like they were like, I think based on the clues, they're like, I think it could be Andrew Garfield, and I heard the voice, and I was like, how fucking dare you presume that man's voice came out of that? Because I've heard Andrew, and it's amazing.
Like, have you not listened to 3090? Come on, so good. But yeah, so Loki ends here sitting on the throne. He's grabbing all the timelines. He exerts all his power.
Yeah, they're seemingly dead.
Yeah,
but he's not giving up on them still.
No, because like he allows the loom to explode. And while it's exploding, he's grabbing all these. He's
literally the beating heart sending a pulse throughout the system, and he's putting all of his might into it, and he's just like he's trudging along. You start to see like threads of the timeline appear connected to his cape as he's trailing along, and the gold throne materializes, the throne he never wanted, or that he always wanted, and then until he didn't, but he was forced to it anyway, which in another sense tragedy. But yeah, he sits down, he pulls it all together, and he just sends out that shockwave, and it creates such a beautiful interconnected tapestry that then inverts, and you see it's a beautiful the tree of life teeming that you see like from the roots are muted and dead, but then it starts to sprout and grow, and the actual like the leaves of the structure are like the color of like the growing branches that are still developing.
The branch, the roots, it's very beautiful. It turns to like in Viking terms, Yggdrasil, the tree of life.
Yes.
And whenever I see like a light tree, I automatically think of Yggdrasil. Having read a lot of Viking mythology, I'm like, this is insane. Like,
born out of Loki's Ragnarok. In a way.
Exactly. Oh, great point. And it was so beautiful to see that. Because a tree in media is always like symbolic of life, of rebirth, right? And for King to always talk about reincarnation, a new life. Now Loki's now giving the universe new life through his own ends. It was just a very good full circle moment there. Very symbolic. Loved it. But again, it's very very tragic, extremely tragic. Because I thought, man, this is like he's literally in a dark setting. It's dreary, it's dark, it's lonely. I'm like, man, this is so sad. And then this is the end of 14 years of Loki storytelling. Man, it makes it seem. Of course, that's what the writers say in terms of his character arc.
Well, that was a quote that Tom had on the Tonight Show last night.
Yeah, I think Tom would know more than most right now.
Well, maybe not. Your Honor, I would like to submit for evidence a quote from the defendant who said the same thing during Infinity War,
which was even more weird. Loki's final ending was getting choked to death.
Well, he was specifically
the sacrifice. I know.
Well, yeah, both like a sacrifice and like how far he's come, and also being that tool to be able to prop up the villain who's like, oh shit, no, this is serious. In the sense,
my final act is a prop up a villain. It's terrible writing.
That's not terrible writing.
I'm not writing a character death to prop up a villain.
Well, Loki wasn't the main character at the time, was he?
True. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say that.
He had only really started to get that hero status like
in
the
Ragnarok.
one film before, yeah.
And then wiped away from us. That's what Marvel does. They give us happiness and it's broken, baby.
That was such a wild time during Infinity War where the marketing was going and everyone was like, where's Loki? Where's Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Where's Ant-Man?
They'll be back. They'll be back. So yeah. The rest of the episode plays as it is. New world, new timeline. You know, Hunter B-15 is continuing on. The monitors have the tree. This Minutes is rebooted. Obi gets a new book, second edition, because it's now all about Loki's life.
I also do like the line, not just the line itself, but like what it means. The fact that they were like, "Oh, she's not gonna try to kill us again, right?" Because that just cemented me. All right, cool. They still have their memories. They still went through the experience. They're still.
It still matters. Yeah. That's a great point to say, Nathan, because I was worried throughout this finale. I mean, as much as this cool stuff is happening, it is ballsy. Is it going to make season 2 seem irrelevant? And it doesn't, to a degree. I still think season 2 wasn't as consistent as season 1. Mm-hmm. But it still mattered. The finale still made what the events go through matter, especially Loki's decision wouldn't have happened had the event season 2 not happened. So yeah. What I was going to say. So yeah. And then, of course, we get the beautiful send-off with Mobius. Just the way that's shot, the way the sunset, the way the camera zooms in on his face. Excellent
he gets
acting.
The file on Quantumania.
I skipped past that. But yeah, we get the... What people are confused about. He says it's a 616 adjacent realm. He's talking about the quantum realm.
Yeah.
He's not talking about 617. Because people are like, 616 adjacent realm? Is that not... I'm like... The adjacent realm is the quantum realm.
Yeah.
That's what they're talking about.
And they're like, they handled it.
They handled it.
If you see Quantumania, yeah, they handled it.
You've seen Ant-Man. If you've been cursed to watch Ant-Man, you saw it happen. I saw it happen.
That, but I saw it happen. It's my lowest rating. It's not okay time.
Is it your lowest rated Marvel movie?
Huh?
Is it your lowest rated Marvel movie?
It is. Yeah, it's at the bottom.
Oh, wow.
But I still, I had a
the Iron Man 2 dance saves it, puts it above Ant-Man Quantumania.
It's a little bit up, yeah.
Okay.
That's still toward the bottom as well, but I like Iron Man 2. I like all these movies, damn it.
You like the bird?
The Boyd. I want my bird.
oh man. That was a movie. I do not like Iron Man 2, but it is fun. It's weird. I'm watching it. I'm like, I don't like this, but it's fun. It's a weird experience.
I don't like it, but it's fun.
It's a weird experience. The racing scene is spectacular. The endings.
The Mark V briefcase suit up is
great.
It's
great.
Remember when there was tangibility in these suits?
Not everything was just nano shit.
God, I remember he jumped out of Avengers Tower and he had to like lock onto the bracelets and it like connected over his body. I was like,
so cool.
God, living in an era where like you would watch like every year on YouTube like a new updated Iron Man suit up compilation, and like the last installment was always fucking shitty theater quality. but you're into it because you're just like, oh, this is fucking cool. Look at the Mark 43 launch onto his body, and then we get to like the Infinity War, and for a second it's like, oh, that's cool, but like everyone has nanotech now, and I'm
tired, Bob.
I'm like, why does Ant-Man, like, why does Thor need his helmet to come? It is magic, but it comes on the same way.
Yeah, Thor, Ant-Man, right? Isn't Ant-Man a little bit?
It like latches on and off, but like it like shrinks back, so it looks like nanotechy.
Yeah, it's so cheap.
Tony have this.
It's so lazy.
Even Black Panther has that in a sense.
Yeah.
Just like, God damn it, just pull the helmet off, man. Bring it back. Battle damage helmets.
We need battle damage. Right? Spider-Man 2 about to be game of the year because of battle damage.
Yeah, that is amazing. And the continuity stays in the cutscenes.
It's so good. Anyways, we cut back to Mobius. Mobius does a great farewell. Just beautiful shot, beautiful score, beautiful sunset. Not much to say there. It's a gorgeous ending for Mobius's character. I couldn't have asked for anything better. And then Sylvie, what are you gonna do, Sylvie? I'm just gonna smile and say, I don't know.
All right. Stop. Get down.
What do you mean? It just didn't feel like an earned smile. What are you smiling about, Sylvie?
Well, we got the free will, didn't we?
Yep.
Well, Loki's gone.
Loki's gone. So does it matter?
Does Sylvie like Loki that way anymore?
I guess not.
I mean, she was going through some shit.
And that's the Marvel issue, right? It's like they're so afraid of romance. They're so afraid of having a peaceful,
or rather, romance sticking.
Romance sticking. Yeah.
Break it down. Spider-Man.
It's like trying to think of a successful romance in Marvel Cinematic Universe right now.
Wait, I'll do it. God, Steve and Peggy made it.
They made it off screen and then he dies.
It was on screen.
They give us a dance, then he dies of old age. He comes back just to die.
You mean you want to like experience like a lived through?
Yes.
We had Tony and Pepper for a while.
There's a reason people are so excited for Ultimate Spider-Man in January.
I'm excited. I'll actually read the comic. I'll get in the comic.
$5, Nathan. They're expensive now.
Marvel Unlimited. Here I come.
I'll give you my Marvel Unlimited.
Free trials off the ass.
I'll give you my account, my Marvel Unlimited account. I still pay $10 a month for it. I didn't know I was paying $10 a month for it. I was looking through my bank account today. I'm like, wow, I thought I canceled that a couple months ago, but I've been paying.
It's been 6 months.
It's been 6 months. I've been paying like 10. I'm like, whoops. Luckily, it's just $10, but now I'm invigorated to start Marvel Unlimited again because I'm like, I got to make use of the app, paying $10 a month for it.
I mean, with the new Ultimate Universe, it piques the intrigue for sure.
It really does. So yeah, Loki finale, series finale. That's a wrap. Oh, I mean, it kind of ends on Loki giving us what would you call that? Not a smile, just a content.
Well, he had a tear.
Yeah.
Did
he?
He did.
God.
Well, he had a tear of happiness for his friend.
Oh, of happiness. Okay.
What do you think they say? You think they put that shot in him just like, help me?
Yeah, just crying for help.
Please.
I fucked up.
Please. Please never fucking change. And like run with that for years because that is so amazing. I want you to have that same energy every time someone brings it up. Like, you think, what, you think he's in pain? Yes! Free me! Let me out!
I made a mistake.
I'm crying, dude. Oh my god. Anyway, this emotional moment. Do I think it's a smile? Yeah. Well, I started to review it because I went to go grab a thumbnail image for the thumbnail.
Oh, good.
And I was going through the screen caps, and I was like, I thought I was misremembering. I was like, did he fucking start to frown at the last frame? It's the same smile. He's still smiling in the last frame. It's just like, it's just like, to hold a big old grin is like, it takes a minute. So it starts to settle, but it's still a smile.
Somebody will add the smile app.
Big old cheesing.
Yeah, Smile 2 featuring Loki 2024.
I'll be there. Well,
you had fun with it, Nathan.
I did. Will you tell them? They don't believe me. Because once you fucking write the first thing, it is etched in the pantheon of fucking biblical cinema.
Yeah.
There's no New Testament here.
Did you know, Nathan, you can't edit your letterbox?
You can. I can rewrite shit from the past, and no one will know because it'll still be the same date.
True.
I could write a fucking season 1 review of Loki and gaslight the full chat.
I've always loved Loki.
I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die.
Oh my God.
Fucking.
What is happening?
I don't know. I love the energy. Stop fucking water names.
Yeah. That's a wrap on Loki. I didn't think it was going to be a wrap. I think every episode we come on here, I'm excited for season 3.
I was sitting in denial because I'm like, all right, post credit scene, and then like halfway through the credits, I'm like, we didn't get one in the first season.
I think I said last week where I'm like, I hope they give us a cliffhanger this season. I hope they give us a cliffhanger just so I can be to be reassured that they gave us season 3. And no, I don't think they did. For me, it's a cliffhanger because I don't think this is a satisfying ending for Loki himself. I don't think he deserves to live in solitude. But or Sylvie, for that matter, too. But Sylvie, I'm more confident in. She has room for growth, right? She doesn't get a Ray where it's just like, I'm back on Tatooine. She gets a more hopeful ending. It's a more, not hopeful. Yeah, I'll say hopeful. More hopeful ending where if I'm a writer on Marvel, I have free reign to do whatever the fuck I want to do with Sylvie, and make it interesting, hopefully. But
if Evan was pending the next installment, he would be like, "We open on Sylvie studying ancient texts to track down Loki's whereabouts."
Doesn't that sound interesting? Loki with a Tomb Raider vibe.
It's the flipping of the script to be, Loki was looking for Sylvie, and now flipping it was like, well, I gotta find him.
Exactly. Give me that Susan May ending. Like I'm gonna go put him back, or even Your Name, right?
It would work too because based on this big proportion of sacrifice that Loki committed, like that would paint Loki in a new light for Sylvie for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And there's people are like, but there's ways to do anything you fucking want in fiction. So there's a ways for her
You
to
can literally just say it's so, and it is so.
Right, and people be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
It's like the Stanley is infamously said like, oh, who's the like who would win, this hero or this hero, and he always says it's whoever the writer says so.
Yep, exactly. So if they do a season, people are like, well, now I don't want a season 3. I'm the complete opposite. Now I want a season 3 because of this ending. Would they give it to us? I don't know, but I think it's open-ended enough. Kind of. It's hard because they did not a lot of good endings, but they closed Mobius out very well here. But I think there's a lot of potential for Loki to come back and that relationship between Loki and Mobius to continue.
I don't want anything like rushed, but I would like one more season before we get into the Avengers of it all.
I agree. If I'm Bob Iger right now, I don't know. Never mind. I don't know what I was going to say, but yeah.
If I was Bob Iger, I'd be hated.
The whole, justifiably so. The Marvel future is just so topsy-turvy these days. With the amount of projects I really want, because now I want Loki season 3, probably not going to happen though. Mm-hmm. I want a Shang-Chi 2.
Wreckage of Time, Evan.
Wreckage of Time. What is this? TMNT?
Sounds like a video game, doesn't it?
It does.
It sounds like one of those
Shattered Dimensions.
No, like those movie tie-in games.
It does. It totally does. Yeah. Because a lot of the future Marvel movies I'm just not super excited for. But let's talk about the Marvels here.
Well, wait, hold on. I did want to say, in terms of Loki, I just at least want one more appearance with him, and I'd said many a time before, I would like by Avengers era to have a scene between Thor and Loki, and I want that to be both of their last appearances.
That would be more poetic than what we got here, in my opinion, and it's not even close. I think Loki as a character is one who, from the beginning, which is why I don't like the ending for him here, because like from the beginning he yearns for love, he yearns for connection. I get what they're doing here by saying he has these connections now that he loves so much, so he's willing to do a lot for them. But I still think the primal instinct for me is that like he still yearns for connection. So cutting that away from him is kind of tragic. But having his final scene be with his brother, or at least with Sylvie, somebody he loves, I need that resolution for him. And he kind of gets it here with Sylvie's talk and with Mobius's talk, but the subsequent scene makes it null. So I would love for, like you said, a scene with Thor, his own brother, that
even even this season, there was, he cracked a joke at the end, but he was like lingering on looking at Thor and Odin, those statues in town.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's good stuff. I would so love to have a scene where they both, really take in how far both each other have come. Because last time Thor saw Loki, granted he was making good change, but he was gone before anything, he could do anything substantial as much. He helped evacuate Asgard, but
yeah. Thor's another one who's just built upon like loved ones dying one by one next to him. His father, his mother, Jane. He finally gets Jane back, but she has cancer. She has to die.
She's in Valhalla.
She's in Valhalla. Oh, that happened, didn't it? Oh my god.
Well, maybe. Hey, just for your optimism, maybe she can come back as a Valkyrie because that happens.
No.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
You don't like that?
I would like that. I would. Like
okay.
That.
Okay. But yeah, I would love to see Thor, to see how far Loki has truly come. Not being someone who's like chasing the throne, but just doing the betterment. And then last time this Loki saw Thor, he was, at first he was like, a whining brute, and then even by Avengers, I'm sure in his eyes he was just like, oh, someone trying to please his father to get the throne. And now looking where Thor is, he's given up the ruling of Asgard, and he's a father now. Like, seeing that evolution of both of them would just be amazing. And I don't think they'll be able to like live together, because I'm sure Loki still would have to tend to time. He can take breaks here and there, but he has to, oversee that. And Thor is either he's going to remain a retired father or he'll die. I don't know what'll happen, but they'll go their separate ways. But I think they'll have a peace with one another.
In Marvel, they're going to kill off Thor and leave his daughter alone.
Don't say that.
That's what's going to happen. But
age her up. It's fine.
He's going to sacrifice himself to save his daughter, which is actually the dark dude's daughter. Right? Did I get that wrong? That happened?
No, you're right. It's Gore's daughter.
That's what?
Yeah, it's Gore's daughter.
Gore. That's his name.
Adopted.
Yeah.
Now by Thor.
Who is Chris Hemsworth's daughter, right?
Yes, actually.
Yep.
And she's wielding Stormbreaker at this point.
Yeah.
The new Thor. There you
go. So yeah, because we're eventually going to get a Thor 5.
I forgot about that. I really did.
Remember Hercules? That happened.
Will it follow up? I don't know. But I also hear they're not rolling with Taika again.
It's too early to tell with that. All Taika has to do is say yes, and he's on board. I think it's not like they're going to say they're not going to pull the Andy, like, I don't want to play with you anymore.
It's funny because like I like Taika, and I think when he he cooks with emotion, he's really good at it. There's too much improv in the works for Marvel specifically. Like if you look at something like Jojo Rabbit, it's like there's plenty of humor, but fuck, there's a lot of heart. It's dark and there's heart.
The butterflies.
Yeah, right. The shoes. So in that regard, like, yeah, does he have the capacity to deliver? Like, yeah, he does. But I want a newer voice, and I want to harken back to the more seriousness that Thor had. I know everyone was just like, oh, Thor's fun again. And it was like, yeah, but goddamn, this, like, I know everyone's like, oh, it's Shakespearean stuff, but like there's so much fucking depth in there.
Yeah,
we're praising Loki from where he came, because that's where he came from in that point in the timeline.
Yeah, it's crazy. Ragnarok saved the character, saved him. I didn't give a shit about Thor until Ragnarok came out.
Until Ragnarok. Damn.
Yeah, what? Because Age of Ultron really made me a Thor fan. Avengers made me a Thor fan. Thor 2 made me a Thor fan. No. But the last movie was like, yeah, I think we need to go back to basics here. I think what made me
I think what made me a Thor fan was just his dynamic with Loki.
Exactly, that's true. And this, like, the Love and Thunder kind of didn't give us that. But Love and Thunder had so much opportunities to give us stuff that could be equal to that, like Thor and Jane or Thor and Valkyrie, and I think to middling results.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we didn't hate it, as we said, that scene at the end of the world, pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. But I did like the Marvels better than Thor and Love and Thunder. I did like the Marvels better than Ant-Man. I did like the Marvels better than a lot of the recent MCU movies.
You scared me because as soon as you said that the Marvels the second time, I thought you were glitching and you looped.
No,
I was like, what?
I'd like the Marvels better than Guardians. No, I'm kidding. The Guardians 3 is still super superior. But Marvels was really fun. And now, full on spoilers, I can finally talk about Kate Bishop showing up in the Marvels. Fan-fucking-tastic. Had me screaming, crying, but not throwing up.
Yeah.
It was. This was spoiled. This was spoiled
Months ago for me.
Wow.
And it was reported as a post-credit scene. So it's
Wow.
Yeah.
Because throughout the years, whenever there was an article showing up about like Kate Bishop's next appearance, she was in post credits of every Marvel movie. People are like, "Oh, she's gonna be in the end of Ant-Man." Remember that? She was gonna be in the season 2 of. She was gonna be in the post credits of something else. But like, I guess I just never. I don't know. I'd never connected her with the Marvels. I think the other rumor I heard was like she's gonna be in Fantastic Four or something, but that was before the delays.
That throws me off. I don't know how that. I don't know how any. I don't know how the Fantastic Four functions currently in the MCU. I don't know what their route's going to be of adaptation.
No, you didn't get casting next week. Pretty
Maybe
damn likely.
It's on the horizon apparently.
I think by the end of this month we'll know who the Fantastic Four cast is, which is wild to me.
Adam Driver, baby, they got him.
They got him. He's back.
Please God, please.
I saw the Ferrari trailer, by the way, when I was seeing the holdovers. By the way, holdovers, cinema.
I want to see
cinema. It's so heartwarming. It's like I'm watching a 1980s movie. It was just like so cozy and good.
The trailer's just like that too.
Yeah, you don't make movies like this anymore.
It looks like it's shot on film.
It was great. It was just so cozy, so great. But I saw the trailer for Ferrari. I'm like, this is an excellent trailer. Two objects cannot exist in the same space at the same time. It was really good. It's a good trailer. Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
I'm starting to get a little jaded on the Napoleon trailer. I'll be honest.
What trailer?
The Napoleon trailer.
Me too. Oh my god.
Because the way it's like edited in the music, I'm like, this is not going to be the tone. Like it's not going to be like this like poppy fucking
endless masses in the city. I'm like, okay, no. And black masses. No.
I love that song. Is that
great
the song?
Right? Isn't it?
Is it?
No. Black masses. What was the song called?
That's not the title. It's War Pigs is what it's called.
War Pigs.
By Black Sabbath.
Yeah, I don't know. But either way, I don't think that's a tone either. I think it's gonna be much more dreary than people are expecting.
Yeah, but you got to market, I guess.
Of course. I was gonna say, the trailer I hate comes out in January with the guy from Secret Invasion. It's the biopic of the Caribbean guy.
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley. Awful trailer. Awful. I go on my phone every time it pops up. I'm like instantly phone. Yeah. Instantly phone. It's such a bad trailer for me. I don't know why. I'm so tired of it. It looks like the most boring, nothing burger of a movie.
As a fan of biopics, famously, I feel bad because I don't really know Bob's music that well.
Me neither.
And I'm sure if I did, I'd be like, oh shit. But I presently do not.
That's making $5 million opening weekend.
Damn.
If that. You heard it here, folks. But the Marvels. What a fun time. On my drive home, my overall review, it's hard to get into depth with this story, for me at least, because I don't feel like the story had a lot of depth. I think one of the main weaknesses is that like it's so fast paced, and you realize that from the jump. The movie just like, pew, like it puts you into the action, which is spectacular, by the way. I love the action in this movie, but it's so fast paced. It jumpstarts you into the story that there's not a lot of scenes that allow you to breathe. I think Carol's arc is pretty. It's weaker than I thought it was going to be, especially given the material that they have about, and they even talk about it with Carol and Monica, like you left me behind, all that kind of stuff. It's there. They talk about it, but then they quickly hug. They quickly move on to the next set piece. They go from point A to point B very fast.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. There is a quickness with the resolution. They does have a part 2 when also Carol's reflecting on what she's done. What she's done to Hala by destroying it and like the grief she feels.
Yes, like don't call me the Eradicator or the Annihilator.
Yeah.
That storyline should have been deep.
Like if we had more scenes, because they do a thing where they're exploring like her trying to unlock her memories in the opening, which I'm captivated by that. I think you definitely needed more sequences. I think it would have been compelling to have like a splice between like remembering her memories on Earth, but also intersplicing with like the guilt she's feeling for what she's done to Hala.
Like you're saying, make that be more continuous throughout the movie, or
just have like 2 more rest periods where we're chilling and Carol's like, even if it's not just like herself, if she's just like has a bit of an addiction of like she's still trying to unlock these memories and she's so desperate to see, but her present memories are getting in the way, that would be compelling.
I think I totally agree, dude, and I think what that would serve also is Darben, is that her name, the villain?
I think so.
I think another unfortunate case of just wasted potential there. Because I love the actress, but I think what her arc is like she witnesses the cruelty of Carol.
Very quick 30-second flashback,
which I thought would have been. Ooh, I was actually like edge of my seat, like, okay, what are we cooking here? But it's very quick. I think they could have showed Carol's like unintentional consequences and how that rose to Darben's like hatred of Carol. Make that stack up some more, because I wanted to breathe. I wanted to live and understand Darben some more, because I understood it, but I wasn't really connecting with it.
You know what would have been cool is if you had a couple of flashback point of views for Darben, looking to like Jude Law's crew, like running these missions for the Kree, and being like, oh wow, there are heroes of Hala, like they're great, and who's especially great. Carol is really great, like she's so powerful, she's so great, like like have Darben look up to her, and then kind of like a flip reverse of how Miss Marvel feels about her, in a parallel way, and then when shit starts to rain down and she's the Annihilator, and your just whole worldview crumbles.
Oof. That'd be fantastic.
I fucking give myself chills, and it's like, why do I keep writing shit?
Because I love when movies start off with like a villain's perspective, or at least you don't know it's going to be the villain's perspective, right? You could have like a cadet, like you're saying, a cadet version of Darben go in Hala, like talking to Jude or talking to Carol, whatever. And then, fast forward a little bit, Carol's the one destroying everything, destroying the Kree intelligence. And then she looks and she sees Carol in her solar energy, or I forget what it's called, in that form where you're just like, oh wow, you're witnessing the devil. That would have been interesting.
Like even better is like you see with that imagery like that, and you would think like, oh my god, this like it's like a fucking angel come to our planet. Like look at this omnipotent being, like she's so beautiful, this glowing aura of light, and then it just turns to destruction.
Destruction instead.
And it's so impactful with like how Hala looks, because like their oceans have dried up, their air is unbreathable, their sun is dying. Like it is an apocalypse.
It is horrible. Yeah, I didn't even realize that from the beginning. I'm like, oh, that's a dried up sun. But then you realize like that's later on, that's Hala's son. I'm like, oh damn, they really are screwed. I was kind of confused why it took Carol this long to go back and just, did what she did. Like, did she was the movie trying to tell us that she forgot about a lot of Hala's consequences? Because she was telling us that like she'd been trying to like fix things for the past 30 years. But by the end, when she was bringing like the son back to Hala or whatever, it seemed like a very quicker fix than what I assumed it was.
Well, I think she ended up getting a bit, similarly with Monica, she was getting a bit sidetracked with like feeling the guilt of trying to help the Skrulls, because that was her first big guilt. Is like she was fighting against the Skrulls, who were the actually oppressed people, which was a great moment in this as well. Like when they save who could be saved, because some people also got killed and left behind in the evacuation. That they're like, we don't need your help anymore. Like, just leave us alone. It's like, oh shit. Like you spend all this time trying to repent, but like you don't get that fulfillment that you were looking for.
Exactly. And I like that part of the story for Carol, where she's trying to juggle that, like, recovering from the mistakes of the past while also trying to be a good role model to Miss Marvel and Kamala. And the awkward, I loved those early awkward scenes between her and Monica. It was great. But I wanted more of that because it gets resolved very quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, now the best buds again. I'm like, I wanted more depth from there.
It's funny how I'll see the internet be like, oh, all right, a short Marvel movie, let's go. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, look what you did.
Look what you've done.
What did you do?
But on one hand, yeah, there's a missing depth here. I think that's like the biggest critique. But also, I can see myself rewatching this way more than most Marvel movies because it's so short and because it's so much fun.
It's really snappy. I think the comedic pacing is beautiful.
This movie had me dying. This movie is so unserious too, which is why I like that. This is probably the most and more so than like a Thor: Love and Thunder, which is also very unserious. But Thor: Love and Thunder tries to be emotional and do all this kind of stuff to middling effect. This movie, while like we're saying, doesn't have that much depth, I think the comedic spots shine more than most comedic moments in most Marvel movies, because they're not trying to juggle too much, which is also to his detriment. But also because it's so breezy and fun, the comedic moments get to shine even more.
I think it helps because like most of the time when there's a joke that comes up, we're already heading into a comedic situation. Like we're on a singing planet and Carol ends up going to dance and sing along, and Monica leans over, is like, "What's this doing for your fan fiction right now?"
Great,
which is wonderful, and that flows very well.
Nick Fury had me rolling.
It was so funny. He was like, "Are you praying? Don't stop now!
Don't stop now! Keep it going!
Amen! Amen!
Amen!"
Fucking dying.
That was great. Black Girl Magic. Come on. I'm like, oh my God, this movie is wild.
I love the way that scene is because they're about to crash and it's like, boo. He's like, oh, it's fine. It's Carol.
It's just Carol. It's cool. Man.
Nick Fury is like, Sam is like, this is probably gotta be the most fun he had. Like, this is great.
Easily, right? Like, man, he was just going from scene to scene, chewing it up. This can't be the same.
Because it was going, all right, no more touching shit.
No more. Oh yeah, people are telling them like, "Hey, we keep switching spots. This is craziness." His face the whole time is just like, "Okay, cool, yeah, we'll figure it out." Like he was so like unbothered by everything happening in this movie.
Why do you never come up here with good news? It's like the ship's crashing. That's not good news.
It was pure comedy. You can't tell me this is the same Sam from or Nick. Sorry, not Sam. Same Nick from Secret Invasion.
I can't tell you yet.
That's hilarious. Yeah, you haven't watched it. Yeah, it hasn't happened yet.
I saw
because Nick Fury is so different and better, arguably, in this movie. Because it's fun. It's fun Nick Fury again. And it's fun seeing that rather than depressed. I'm walking in London.
There is a great quick moment, and I think this is just like the antithesis of Nick. It's like he's sharing a fight scene with Kamala, like in between the switching, and Kamala like toss him a gun. They're blasting. They're working together, and when they beat down the guys, they look at each other, and he's cheesing. He's smiling because I do genuinely believe, Fury isn't just like in it to be a protector. Like, I think he genuinely loves heroes and what they can do, and him looking down at Kamala and just being like so impressed, like that just added like so many years to my soul.
Yes, you're right. It's a really small moment. It's a great moment because he's especially in the context of the movie, he's showcasing how to be a great mentor, similar to how he was a great mentor to Captain Marvel herself in the 90s, and now Captain Marvel now can carry on that mentor role to Kamala. Because they have a great ending scene too.
Another quick moment, and we'll get to the ending with Monica. After she's gone, Kamala has to tell Fury what happened, and I love that he's visually upset, but he doesn't like take it out on Kamala. He's not like blaming or just like, why'd you do that? You should have done better.
What did you do?
Exactly. No, he's just like, tell me what happened. What about Carol? He's treating her with like like you're in the big leagues now. Like I'm treating you with respect. Like I'm not going to berate you for like a failure of a mission. Like it's just this shit happens and it sucks, but like you did good.
Yeah, we're rolling through the deep. Like she's totally like in the same wavelength as Nick Fury, which it was great to see. Yeah, see that maturity in the whole conversation. Kamala's growth overall. Kamala, Nathan and I have talked ad nauseum how great Miss Marvel is. It's fantastic. It's a great show. Iman Vellani is the best casting in Marvel history. She's fantastic in this movie. She is fucking great in this movie. Every step of the way, every second. With the flirting, with Monica, with, Brie Larson. She's just incredible. Her fight sequences, amazing. And
scenes with her family.
Scenes with her family. Oh my God. So great. I miss his family so much.
I felt like I was watching season 1.5.
It did. The whole first half of this movie is all just like great comedic beats with her and her family. That poor house.
I know. Is there superhero insurance in this one?
They should be. It should be. Yeah. They need to fix it. They should just call Adam Eve over there just to fix it all up.
There was a moment after the whole fight scene in the house that like they're cleaning up and they're all like judgmentally looking at Kamala, and I'm like, what the fuck did she do?
Yeah, you're right. They're all like, I'm like, I tried saving you guys. What do you mean?
She had no control over this. This was not her choice.
It was a Flurkin, a fucking Flurkin, spitting up to.
Not even a Flurkin. It was just like the asshole aliens. It was the Kree.
They came out of the Flurkin.
They did. Okay. Goose, what
just don't spit them out now. Spit them out later. Spit them out. I don't know. Maybe they stink.
Goose going through it. She's pregnant right now.
You're right. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Good excuse. Yeah, she was pregnant. And got busy. No.
It's funny. They find that like that little like brain matter thing on the ship, and I'm like, yeah, that's Nick. That's Flurkin. We're gonna have Flurkins.
Oh, you knew that? Okay.
Yeah, from the jump, I was like, this bro, because I'm like, it's too late. Nothing was marketed to suggest another threat on the ship. We got hour 45. You can't do this.
Nice, Nathan.
And then when like multiple of them appeared up, I was like, well, okay, we don't have the cat scene yet, so.
I don't know why I didn't think about that. I was like, what is this? I was like,
I'm ahead of you for once.
Yeah.
I didn't fall for it.
Maybe because I wasn't, and that's why the box office is so bad. I wasn't involved with the marketing as much. Did you see, I don't know.
Iman and Brie are going to screenings in Los Angeles, to sold out screenings to like surprise fans.
Yeah, maybe they should go to the ones that aren't sold out so they can get more people on board.
That's not how that works.
That's not how it works. Okay.
Yeah, it's like 5 people there. I would feel as the actor, I would feel sad.
Hey guys, crickets.
No. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's been cool. You can tell Feige was just like, go
go around the world
downtown right now. It sucks, dude. They missed the premiere by a day.
That's wild, man. Fuck this.
Have another one.
Fuck the studios. A re-release.
I too.
And the week afterwards is gonna suck too because Hunger Games comes out next week. It's like they get no time to breathe. But yeah, I mean, I like Iman. I like Tiana Paris coming out to support the movie as well. They're great ambassadors for the movie. But yeah, Kamala was just so relatable. hilarious. And even if you can't relate to her, like, her being with her idol, I think the movie illustrated her connection to Captain Marvel to be something of like idolizing your hero, respecting your hero, but also not like, I'll do whatever you say, Captain Marvel, because I love you so much, Captain Marvel. No, she's still Kamala, and she's still going to do. She's going to have her own prerogatives, her own way of doing things, and she helps. What was Captain Marvel's first name?
Carol.
Carol. Thank you. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm saying Brie, Captain Marvel. She keeps helping Carol with Carol's own arc of just like owning up to her mistakes and like becoming more of a team player, getting those connections that she was just that she was longing for. She was like, it's been lonely up here in space. And I like how the movie showcases that loneliness for a second there. But this movie was a lot of fun.
There's also a great moment where like Kamala has a pushback against Carol. It's like, what, you're just gonna leave them? We can't leave them. But that they can only save so many.
Yeah, that was dark. I was like, oh dang, we are just leaving a lot of them just to die.
Yeah, it's really like thrown in the deep end of this hero business.
Yeah, and just seeing them together, seeing them fail this mission, it reminded me of like why I love the Guardians movies so much. Not the failure part, but just I can envision these three going on a lot of intergalactic missions. Like, give me a TV series with just Carol, Teyonah, Kamala going on intergalactic missions, learning more about themselves, learning more about as a trio, their connections. Like, there's a lot of great stuff to mine here. I just had so much fun with them going from planet to planet doing weird shit. Like, this was a very fun intergalactic story.
It is. This is the trio that I just adore right now.
I adore them. And oh, by the way, speaking of the trio, one thing I did not like about this movie, there's only a certain amount of times Monica could say something very scientific and everybody be like, say that in English, please, or say that again. Like, she did it like 5 times in this movie. I'm like, I get it. Monica's a genius. But like, what she's saying is not super out of the ordinary here. It's like, I understood everything that she's saying here. Like, oh, there's a bunch of wormholes, and I'm like, okay. So
I only noticed one of those scenes.
She did it a lot. Whenever they had to figure out the next problem, she would solve it scientifically, and either Kamala or Carol or even Nick would be like, say that again for us. I'm just like, okay. I'm telling you, dude, it happened a lot. Granted, you saw it twice, so maybe it happened less than I'm thinking of.
I do feel compelled to put say it in English in Time Blazer, so whoever says that gets smacked in the face.
That'd be great.
And just repeats what they said.
I'm like, damn it. That'd be great. But yeah, that's a small, just my personal nitpick. But overall, I liked Monica's stuff. I felt like, how did you feel about them going into what we already saw in WandaVision, with her becoming back to life? Like, they're kind of rehashing stuff that people who watch the TV show already know about. Like, Carol doesn't. So kind of like the whole sequence of her going through Monica's memories.
It's quick flashes. It was quick, very like couple frames from WandaVision. It wasn't too lingered on. There was a quick line where she's like, "I'll walk through a witch hex." Very quick. I think that's fine. I think that's definitely for like a general audience to like up to speed. Like, how do you have powers this way? Okay.
Yeah,
because the MCU is so crazy at this point. Like, people are just like, all right, sure.
And it was cool seeing Monica's powers in action like that.
Oh yeah.
Because did we see her phasing in WandaVision? Was she doing that shit in WandaVision?
I don't know if she was full on phasing. I mean, obviously she was like trekking through the hex, which was her origin of the powers. But no, I don't think we physically saw. She was definitely like, didn't she fly in WandaVision?
I don't think so.
Well, she definitely had like a point where like she like superhero landed on a lawn. I think she was running around actually, but I think she was mostly just like throwing some blast here and there. She wasn't going full blown like this. Like, she's definitely like honing her craft by this point.
This was such a great display of action from Monica's powers. Like, I did not know she could like phase and materialize on will. Like, I love that kind of power in anime where you can just like materialize through things, but also have to be physical whenever you actually hit things. On top of that, she has like proton blast, light blast. Like it was great. Her name in the comics is like Photon, right?
It's Photon, yeah. Sometimes Spectrum, but yeah, Photon.
Which both of which were said by Kamala, I think, right?
Yeah, I love their brainstorming the names. They're like going through. One of them says Vision. Carol goes, "Oh, wait."
Oh wait.
What's great because she's fucking face is like Vision, which is great.
It was great seeing so much levity from Captain Marvel because we haven't really seen this a lot from Carol, which Carol, smile for me more, but but I love seeing like she was so serious and so, which of course worked for the movie. I really like the first Captain Marvel because she's like, again, she's burdened and she has this whole memory loss thing, and then we see her in Avengers Endgame and she's very much like, given the situation, not cracking them any jokes. There's not a lot of time for peace. But in this one, she gets so much levity. I loved Carol so much in this movie. Her learning to like have like that friend group, just the act of like giving clothes, of not wanting to say the name, but then like helping out with the names and all kind of stuff, like helping out with the. I love the training montage of the three of them training their powers together. That was such a fantastically edited sequence.
Doing double dutch, like now. I
can't even do that without the power switching. I hate double dutch.
No,
I suck at it.
Like, why would you jump? Like, I'm gonna die. That's my instant thought.
I can't get in there.
You just get tail approach. Oh shit, I messed it up. But like something about you're watching it, you're just like, I'm gonna get sliced.
Yeah, it never really worked out well for me.
Yeah, they're like, let's just juggle.
Yeah, right. I can juggle a little bit.
Which is funny because at a point where they're like, oh, we're starting to get it, they're just going,
one.
Like, okay, but then they start to go through it and it's funny. I think it was a funny bit where Carol and Monica are going to switch and Carol like jumps last second and Monica falls down because of it. It's funny.
Wow. But yeah, speaking of the switching, like that action sequence in the beginning when they're all switching and they're all going from Kamala's house to the Saber station to the space station where Carol was at, like, wow, what a crazily edited but really well done action sequence, like from every step of the way. That was amazing.
I didn't realize this was going to be a factor, but I like the add-in that they don't just switch every time they use their powers. It's only when it's at the same time. So there's still a chance for them to get.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yeah, like they only swapped when it was at the exact same moment. But if it's just an individual time where only one of them's going, they can get some shots in. That's why they'll be, starting off in the beginning. There was a lot of times where they were still throwing in shots using their powers, but they didn't leave.
Okay, I was wondering about that throughout the movie. I'm like, so Kamala's using her like defensive powers here, but she's not switching at times.
That's also why at the very end, after the villain gets crushed, they're like, "Oh, we're not switching anymore," and they're like, 1, 2, 3, bam, and they did it at the same time. They didn't switch.
Okay. I have to rewatch that and keep that in mind because sometimes I was like, "Is this just an inconsistency thing? Is it because the powers aren't really that consistent?" But okay, yeah, if they use it at the same time, then they have to switch. That's a good point. Because it got to the point where I'm like, if they can't use their powers in general, because if they use their powers, they'll switch. Kamala's screwed because her taijutsu, her physical, is not up to par with like Carol and Monica, who can keep like their hand-to-hand combat. It will do fine even without their powers. Meanwhile, Kamala's just an average teenager. So
there was a great moment before they had an understanding during the big fight. Carol gets back to the Kree ship and she gets pissed off because she's like, "Oh fuck! If I blast, I'm gonna change." So she just goes for it. And then a little bit after, she just does it anyway, and it worked. She's like, "Oh yeah!" She got excited because she's back.
Yeah, I'm like, Carol's super powerful even without her shooting beams at people's faces. Like her physicality is just it's so immense.
Kamala was doing some acrobats in the spaceship. I was surprised.
She was doing a lot. I was like, okay, Kamala, like, because all her powers can do is give her a good foothold to help her out with her like physical powers. But you're right, she was going off.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah. So yeah, I just love all their chemistry and even the musical segments here. I was kind of worried, like Remember that whole big rumor where like Captain Marvel or the Marvels is going to be a musical? And
I vaguely I remember that, but honestly, as soon as it started, I was like, let's go.
it was great. I had a blast with it. It was very funny. It was very like, and it was funny in a way that like didn't take away from any of the scenes. Like the comedy, like you said, it doesn't take away from a lot of the scenes because the comedy scenes were for comedy bits, and they didn't take away from any emotional point in the movie.
Yeah,
Um,
I I was I was surprised for a second because I forgot that Brie actually does sing. So when she starts singing, I was like, oh, this is wonderful. I was like, oh, that's right. I watched Scott Pilgrim.
Best part about Scott Pilgrim.
That's great. I was like, that's Envy Adams. But it was great when she was like, hey, I need your help. And he's like, okay. Like, he doesn't have to sing. Yeah, he's bilingual.
He's bilingual. That killed me. That killed me. That was great.
Beautiful. It's like they still did the show though.
Yeah. And the costume part, Nathan, break this down for me. So this planet had all those costumes created for them, or was it just like convenient? I'm like, how did you get all those specific outfits for those people?
Yeah, I think they just had like a quickly tailored. They're clearly a very fashionable folk.
Okay.
Uh,
I was so confused. I was like, really? This is fast, but okay. I do like a lot of people have said it, but like I miss Miss Marvel's old costume.
yeah,
I don't hate this one, but
I hope she goes back to it because it's still at her house. Because we said before we really like how there's like the stitching has like cultural significance to her. And
yeah,
it's beautiful.
yeah. This one just seems more like a streamlined superhero costume.
It's like it's pretty streamlined, but then it gets like a little busy on the arms.
Yeah,
A lot of people are praising Carol's costume at the end, where like just the big star and like the two colors.
the darkened version.
Yeah, it's like it looks good, but I still preferred the suit from the opening.
Me too. I like the
already an
brighter.
update.
What?
It's already an update from her like previous installments. I mean,
Oh wow, you're right.
um,
Which part is the update? The
I think
shoulders?
they flipped the color of the red and
Okay.
blue, and yeah, just like the gold vibrancy. It's consistent, but it's updated enough. It looks great.
It's so confusing why they give so many heroes different outfits constantly these days in movies.
Action figures, baby. And then with Monica, I found it interesting because like I thought she was gonna just be rocking the jacket because I was like that looks like her costume. But then like everybody at Saber's wearing it, and I'm like, oh, that's not very fun.
Can't do it. Yeah.
But then she rocked out at the end. I was like, this is an upgrade. This looks great.
Her outfit was phenomenal. Yeah, great design there. And then the whole battle sequence in that world was so cool. I forget what the world's called. Magellan. It was like they said it was like a Magellanic sector, which was funny because like for Ferdinand Magellan. But yeah, the whole action sequence in that planet was amazing. Like especially when they're in the sky. Like I just loved a lot of the action in this
on
movie.
the same planet.
Yeah,
I think it's called Aladna.
Aladdin. Huh. Yeah, the whole action set piece on Aladdin was very cool. This movie just looked the action throughout Aladdin, beginning of the movie, even the end, fighting Darben, all three of them. We saw it in the trailers. We see it here, and it's so cool seeing all three of them use their powers to defeat her.
It was also interesting to get some more lore on Kamala's bangles being part of a pair set. I think they're quantum bands. They said
quantum bands, yeah, and it's a lot more cosmic than even we were expecting.
Yeah, with the ability to open different gateways throughout which we now find is not just throughout our space time, but to different universes.
Yeah, let's break that down. How did that open up specifically? Is it because because at this point she defeats or she loses to all three of them, but then she tricks them. I forget how.
What happened is she ended up getting the upper hand by Carol and Kamala switch, and then she had Kamala pinned under her hammer, and she was about to kill her.
Okay.
So manipulated Carol that way, and so that way she got both Bengals. And they even said one of her goons earlier said, like if you use that much power, like that'll kill you. And she's like, that's worth it. To bring her back Hala, yeah, I'll do it. And lo and behold, it happens.
She gets corrupted and turns to dust.
Yeah, it was interesting from that perspective because it was like, well, okay, yeah, no, they already they opened a pathway, which was essentially sucking our sun away to fuel theirs. And then when she did that expansion, because it was like they needed more power to like go faster, but it ended up going beyond I think what anybody expected because it ended up expanding more into a different universe.
Yeah, which is odd. So like again, the power of the two bands,
Mhm.
like because those things affect like jump points, but the jump points went to a different universe because it had too much power.
I
Is that
think
what you
so.
said?
I think that's with the connection of the quantum energy with it, which they used before to go to different realities.
Yeah,
So,
so it breaks through space and time, and then yeah, went through. Um,
but
so yeah,
then
she turns to dust. It starts cracking up everywhere,
mhm.
and then Monica has to go through it to close it. Correct?
Yeah, what they end up doing is both Carol and Kamala fuel their energy
Mm,
with the combined angles into Monica to harness the energy to disperse it into being able to close it.
yeah. And part of me was like, can't you just come through it and then close it, Monica?
I was wondering, can
Like,
you like slingshot back?
can you just slingshot back and then close it from the other side? Like, why did you have to close it from that side?
Well, I mean, we got to get to Secret Wars.
Just bang my head against the table.
Sometimes heroes are stupid, Evan, and you make impulsive decisions, and you
I
just got to
guess so.
do what matters.
I guess
Save the
so.
people, save the rebellion,
Save the dream, Monica.
save
Um,
save the flow of time. Loki did it. I watched both of these in one day. I was like, fuck.
Thursday was a lot, man. Watched so much media.
Courtney was
But
like going into the Marvels. I was like, do I need to watch Loki first? What's gonna happen?
uh, so yeah, Monica is closed off from the other side. Nick Fury yells at Kamala saying, "You fucking failure." No, I'm kidding. Um, but I do love the ending with Kamala. Before we go to the post-credit scene stuff, I love the ending with Kamala and Carol. Kamala's family now lives in Georgia, or at least like the
I
bayou.
so watching both these, I couldn't tell if it was Kamala's family was moving in or if Carol was moving in because like they were looking through a box
Really?
that had Carol's like tray with like her and the prince on it.
Oh, I
So
think.
because she's like, so say like I'm watching over the plane until Monica gets back. So that like feels to me like Carol's coming back to Earth and waiting for her to come up because like why would
Oh,
the whole family just leave Jersey City? Because I know their house is a bit roughed up, but like they can fix that.
now I'm confused. I swore for me, I just took it as word that like the house is messed up. Kamala's family
I
lives
think
there now.
I think it says Kamala's mom looks to her brother and is like, "This would be a good place to raise a family," and he's like trying to turn her off the remote. I think it was just a joke, a passing joke, just like "Where's my grandchildren?" type deal that parents have. Uh,
Well,
but
yeah.
but I don't think they're moving in specifically.
So they're just helping Carol move in.
I think so.
Okay, I'll take that too. But Carol, can you help us fix the hole in our house then? Damn.
Maybe I'm sure I'm sure Nick is on the case for helping them.
And actually, that makes more sense. Yeah, because if they ever do a Marvel season 2, we're not going to do
Louisiana,
Louisiana. That's weird. So you're
Miss
right.
Marvel in the
Wow.
Bayou.
So you're right. Wow. Like the Rescuers. Um,
There you
but everybody go watch the Rescuers on Disney Plus. It's great. Um, yeah, it makes more sense now that I think about it. More sense for Carol at least. Carol honoring her friend. She wasn't able to be there for her, so she now takes over her house rather than Kamala just taking over her house now. Okay.
go.
I mean, oh, okay.
Because imagine Monica comes back and she's just like, "Why are all you people in my house?"
Yeah, can you guys move the fuck out? So yeah, that's nice. Hopefully they'll reunite it sooner than later. Carol and Monica.
It's in Avengers.
Mhm.
Because when
And
would
then,
their next appearance have been anyway? Miss Marvel season 2.
yeah, great point. Um, So yeah, then we get Miss Marvel with Kamala in the plane, which was really sweet. Man, I just loved Kamala's her connection with Carol throughout all of
It's
this.
it's a great parallel. Because Carol is sitting there and it's like, yeah, this goes back because back to in the flashbacks. Carol ended up visiting Monica's mom Maria during the blip when she had cancer. And the mom was believing like Monica would come back, like she never died. Um, not even understanding how the blip worked or anything, and just working in these end times, she never lost faith that Monica would come back, and so Carol's doing the same now.
Yeah, never losing faith, and then paralleling like getting Kamala on her airplane, just like her and Monica did when they were young. Just carrying over that idea of friendship between her and Monica to her and Kamala. Like they are equals. Just like she gave a plane ride to Monica, she's now doing it to Kamala because, again, they're equals, they're best friends. It's more than a master and apprentice kind of relationship. So it was very sweet. The whole trio had a very sweet dynamic. Again, I wish it was a deeper, and I think they had room for that. But yeah, it was a fun story here. And then what's the lead in to the ending? Was Kamala doing the whole Avengers shit?
Well, I think she said to Carol like that she had a bit of an idea.
Because she had so much fun being in the team with the trio. She loved being in the
Yes.
team. She wanted her own team. Got it.
And even in the conversation during the final scene, she's like, "Where'd you get that?" It's like, "It's in my couch." So she had like the Intel iPad around. She probably hid it while they were cleaning. Honestly,
I loved when she first got it too. By the way, she's like, "There's Intel on me, really?"
it is so cute. I also like when she's like, "If there's like so much personal intel, why is it see through?"
Great
So
point.
good.
Yeah, then Michael's like, we're still working on it. So,
Well, you see,
like I didn't make it. Shut up. Anyways,
it's cool, isn't it?
ask IT. But
Um,
yeah, dude, Kamala finding Kate. Holy shit!
so yeah, as soon as they went to New York, I was like, because I knew, and I was like, "This is it."
I
And
didn't even know what I was thinking. I don't know what. Yeah, because we go to New York, we see Kate first. I'm like, oh, sweet. And then we get to the chair. I'm like, no way.
it was
No
great.
way.
Well, it's the lead up is like every shot is like you're fucking with me because they have the silhouette of her with the bow, and then they cut to Lucky Pizza Dog, which I'm actually surprised how much my audience like popped as soon as Lucky pops up. I'm like, okay,
Really?
y'all watch the show. This is great.
Even I was like, wait, what? Who's that? Oh, yeah.
What's wrong with you?
It took me a while. I don't know. I was tired.
K Bishop superfan Evan Harris didn't recognize her dog.
Correct. It's been a minute.
But yeah, that was great walking in. It was like, oh shit. And yeah, she's sitting in the chair. You think you're the only superhero in the world. It's fucking Iron Man wanting it.
I was laughing so hard. I'm like, no way. Are we really doing this?
You think you're the only young superhero powered being in the world. Butchering it. So funny.
Oh, so funny. In case it's like, what is happening?
You become part of a bigger universe, which is just me right now, but I got feelers out there. You know, Ant-Man had a daughter.
Okay. By the way, is Cassie, does she have a nickname? Is it called Cassie Lang? Is she just called Cassie?
I think her hero name is Stature.
Stature. Okay. Because I was like, Stature can't be, right? Did they say Stature in the movie? Or it was just.
I don't think so. I didn't think
The movie was just Cassie.
I know she's like, I think she more so goes like the giant persona than the shrinking. That's why she goes by Stature. So we shall see that play out because they did that in Quantumania. So yeah, that'll be interesting. There's a lot of potential people being teed up for the Young Avengers.
We've been saying this for years, ever since WandaVision, right? Like we're like, oh, Billy and Tommy, Young Avengers, Kate, Young Avengers, Miss Marvel, Young Avengers.
Elijah Bradley question mark.
Elijah Bradley question mark. Yeah. I don't think he's gonna be in it, but we need some boys here. Even though I wouldn't mind all women Young Avengers, but like Cassie, Kamala, Kate. You would think You would think they would say, "Hey, Florence Pugh is fantastic. We'll get her on." But they already.
I'm sure she's in the Thunderbolts right now.
She's
But I'm
in
sure
Thunderbolts.
she'll be back. She'll come around because
Come on.
It's already a connection, so she'll be like, "Hey, hold on, we might have somebody who can get in or something."
What a blunder! What a blunder!
What it's coming? I think it's coming.
What a blunder! No.
What makes you think it's not?
Excuse me, Thunderbolts and Young Avengers.
Sure,
I would like it, but
let's also remember that there is no official announcement of Young Avengers as of yet, like for a property right now. Like clearly, I mean, yes, they're paving the road for it. This is the first like actual like in universe. Here we go. But yeah, and granted, there was like a bunch of mystery slots in Phase 6, so you never know what's popping.
Yeah, it's true, and it's like we talked about it off air, maybe this episode. I don't know. It's been a long episode, but a lot of these post credit scenes from Marvel just go nowhere, absolutely nowhere.
Yet, don't be rash.
There's like 20 of them now at this point.
Don't be rash. Name one. I'll tell you when it's coming.
Shang-Chi's sister.
They're doing a show, right?
Is it still on the dock?
Maybe.
Mr. Iger saying you've got to cut down to these Marvel projects.
Is he going to do the show and Shang-Chi 2 before Avengers?
I think my idea now, they're canceling that Shang-Chi show and they're just putting it in Shang-Chi 2. Which one I wouldn't mind, but
I don't know. I don't know how much frequency of like development they're going to head into now. Not this.
I think Feige are cutting half of their Marvel shows because a lot of them, Wonder Man gone probably.
Yeah, I think so.
I think some of these shows just like you don't remember there was like all these Wakanda shows that were supposed to happen. I don't think they're happening.
They did have at least one on the docket. Yeah,
like Worlds of Wakanda, something like that.
Something like Denai was going to star.
Yeah, probably gone. Like I think a lot of these in development shows after this year, gone. But yeah,
I guess we'll have to see how things go because they're actually doing showrunners now, so we'll see what the future.
They actually thought of like, showrunners.
These aren't just long movies.
Really? Oh, idiots.
But also, we get more than 6 episodes.
We need it.
I think that's how they got away with making so many so fast. It's just it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah, but then they're $25 million per episode. Weird. But yeah, like the Hercules stuff in Thor, the Arrows stuff in Eternals. I mentioned the Shang-Chi stuff.
Would you have ever expected
Doctor Strange postscript?
Well, that's just gonna be Doctor Strange 3. But
when is that even going to come out? 2028.
I think they want. I heard they wanted to do it before Avengers. Did you ever expect that, of all things, Eternals to set up Blade?
Oh yeah, hello, Mr. Whitman. What the fuck?
Are you ready for that?
That was so bad. That's not gonna do. That's not gonna be anything anymore.
It's so funny because I'm sitting in the audience and so many people are like, "Oh, I think that was Mahershala Ali," and I'm like, "You heard that? I thought it was Nick Fury for a second."
That has to be one of their worst post-credit scenes. Right, Nathan? Come on.
It's just so vague. Bad. It's so vague.
It's incredibly vague.
It's weird that you had your person off screen.
Yeah.
If you just because you need a fucking leather jacket and glasses.
Right.
You got it.
And you got it. And if his costume changes, his costume changes, right? It doesn't matter. You don't have to stick with anything.
Evan, I'm so fucking sick of every report thumbnail for Blade being the screenshot from Alita. It looks so, and it was so funny. Is it's some in between frame where he's saying a sentence, so he looks like this. And I think they'll use it because he has a sword. I think, but it's just none of the attire is Blade. He's got glasses.
It's just, serious person. Well, they can't use moonlight, so they gotta use
somebody make some fan art, please. Please. I like Alita, by the way.
Alita's fun.
Yeah, Rodriguez had a blast.
It's creepy in its execution at times, but it's fine. The ending sucks ass. As
Edward Norton standing there.
They try to set up a sequel.
Is it coming?
Don't do that.
Don't do a
that.
sequel.
No, don't just set up a sequel in your movie. Let it happen. If it happens, it happens.
It's God. The tragedy of the amount of times I've seen like young adult targeted flicks being like teamed up the full next adventure, and it's just like, just complete it now.
Complete it, yeah. Because man, Alita has really suffered. That's why the fans were so active, because the movie literally ends on a cliffhanger. The fans are like, oh, we must see what happens next.
It is wild that there are 3 Divergent movies and they didn't get the final one.
And none of the actors care.
They're like, it's gonna be a TV show, and it doesn't happen.
None of the actors care. They're like, okay, cool. We're done. We're out of this hellhole.
Is there any good in them?
In the first Divergent book, I kid you not, I read like 5 times. It's romantic as hell. It's beautiful. I think the first Divergent is better than every Hunger Games book, minus probably Catching Fire.
Wow. In terms of the books.
In terms of books, definitely not movie adaptation. And then Maze Runner is just a better series than both of those combined. I love Maze Runner.
We should commentate this because I haven't properly watched those.
Oh, really? Oh, we definitely should. For the West Ball hype, like Christmas 2014 for me, Christmas, my number one thing was get me the Maze Runner Blu-ray. I was such a big fan of Maze Runner. I still am. And I was such a big fan of the movie. And then I spent Christmas Day, going through all the Blu-ray extras with my family, all the West Ball interviews, all the interviews with the cast. Because I was a huge fan of what's his name? Dylan O'Brien, huge fan of his. And I was just like, man, that 2014 Maze Runner era. And 2014 is the same year Gone Girl came out. Man, it was a wrap for me. But
once upon a time, Dylan O'Brien was my pull for Spider-Man.
Me too.
Easily. It was him, but I guess he was tied up with Maze Runner at the time, so he couldn't. And so I was like, all right, Asa Butterfield, here we go.
I was never on board with Asa. I was getting so nervous. I'm like,
as a fan of Ender's Game and nothing else, because that's all I had at the time.
His face didn't scream Peter Parker for me. I was like, he doesn't have the face for it. Yeah. I couldn't put a word on it. He's a good actor though.
And then it was like Tom Holland. I was like, who?
I was like, who's this guy? Really? He can do flips now? Okay, cool, whatever. He can do flips. Yeah, flips better, man. What were you saying? Oh yeah. So yeah, all that being said, with post-credit bullshit, I don't know when the next time we can see Kamala and Kate together, but just the idea of it. Fantastic. And it's a great ending to a movie where Kamala herself is yearning for a team. She had so much fun being in a team. One of those members gets kicked out, and she starts a Young Avengers team. Oh, did you ever read Champions, by the way, in the comic books? Champion with her, Nova, Miles Morales, female Vision.
I saw that going around. I didn't read it, but I saw some stuff going around.
When that started, what was that? I think Champions was like 20. I need to give you my Comixology account. Because the Champions run is just so much fun.
Here, log in.
I'll just take that.
You got games on your phone?
I got no games on my phone.
Me either. Going to the store.
I'm lying. I got Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis on my phone.
I only played puzzle games, and I got sucked in. I had to delete them because I wouldn't do anything else.
Nice. But yeah, I think the Champions would also be very fun, but that's way down the line because that's with Miles and Sam and Nova, and stuff like that.
Was there any reports of like something with Nova developing? Whether or not it was Sam or Richard Rider?
No, but I hope it's Sam. Sam is a much more interesting character than Richard.
Sam is definitely the pull to move forward. Maybe it could be like Richard was like a pre-established one, and now Sam's going. But
admittedly, if I'm Feige, like another intergalactic hero, like granted, Guardians is gone, but Miss Marvel's or Captain Marvel's there. I guess Captain Marvel's our only galactic hero now, space-based hero, because the Guardians are gone.
Do you ever foresee a new lineup Guardians film without James?
Not for a long time. I wouldn't. It's not really necessary because again, we just saw a great intergalactic storyline in this movie, right? Just like keep them. If you don't want to bring back Kamala, which I
Yeah,
don't know why, but like,
it would be
just
hard
have-
anyway to like market like it's a Guardians of the Galaxy, but like there's no Star-Lord, there's no Drax. Star-Lord's gonna be in something else, I'm sure, but like
yeah.
no Gamora, no Drax. Yeah, Groot and Rocket, but
Mhm.
I don't know.
But I wouldn't mind just a Kamala or a Carol and Monica intergalactic storyline, or just all three of them again. I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever do all three of them together again in a movie. Maybe this is just it.
I think so.
You think so?
I think it's like moving from Ant-Man to Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now I think like if they wanted to continue forward, they would probably just go like, all right, the Marvels again. They're not gonna just like now pivot to like it's Captain Marvel 3, 2.
Okay, that's cool.
I think
I respect that. That'd be cool. I mean, you don't think Carol's role in Avengers and Kamala's role in the Young Avengers would split them up a little bit?
I'm sure based on those specific adventures, but you can always like write a journey that's going to have them tie together. Because especially since Kamala's Bengals are apparently fairly cosmic now.
By the way, so are they both Bengals get blown up, or she still has one? She still has her family heirloom one, right?
I think she got both of them now.
She has both of them now.
Yeah.
Is she even more powerful, Kamala?
I would argue. She's just not going to fucking push herself to obliteration.
Please argue then. Because I would love for them. I would love for her to have both and see how that affects her character, if any.
Yeah.
What else? Before we go into the X-Men at all, because part of me just thinks like, if we don't get this trio again, they might just give us a trio spotlight in like King Dynasty, like see them again for a little bit.
Because I imagine like Infinity War, like they're gonna split different subsections of the heroes to do different sections of the journey, until we culminate to the big fight.
And one of those sections could just be Kamala and Carol saving a cat, bullshit. But like Carol, or I could see Carol and Kate, right? Carol and Kate doing something, right? Like, give me some Kate. I missed you so much, Haley Steinfeld. I miss Kate so much.
As we've been pitching forever, we want this new age Black Widow and Hawkeye with Kate and Yelena.
That's right there. But now we have Kamala. So Kamala, you can third wheel it.
Sure.
It just honestly give me Kate, Kamala, and Yelena. Holy shit. That's $1 billion. I'm watching that every day of the week.
Catherine Newton's in the back. Can I come?
No! Your movie sucked.
Well,
no. When she mentioned Cassie, I'm just like, oh fuck. But maybe they can get me to like Cassie because I like Catherine Newton. Mm-hmm. I just did not care for Cassie much at all in Ant-Man. I wanted to, but maybe she's a character that would definitely benefit from a TV show. Mm-hmm. Just give me a longer time with Catherine. But Nathan, it's time for you to cook because get me excited about this post-credit scene.
Oh, I will get you to care higher, further, and faster for it, my friend.
Clever.
In the beginning, the year was
2000. Wow, we're going that far back.
The year was 2000. Kevin Feige was producing X-Men. And Bryan Singer said, nobody read comic books. Nobody bring them to set. And Feige said, Hugh, get in here. Get in my office. Read these.
What are these, sir?
Your future. The beginning. He had the force. Kevin is he who remains.
Yes.
But giving Hugh comics was giving Victor Timely the TVA handle.
He's like, Hugh, we've already had this conversation.
What? Everything starts to blur and fade. Oh shit!
He was like, let me step back here. I don't know about this guy. He's weird.
I'm gonna take my 5th cold shower of the shoot to get angry. But anyway, so we arrive in the hospital, seemingly.
Yes.
And this just instantly, Tiana Paris is an amazing actress. Because she wakes up and she sees Maria. She sees her mom, and she breaks down and she like starts feeling sympathetic and apologetic, and she's like, "Oh my god!" But Maria doesn't recognize her. Doesn't know who this woman is.
By the way, I thought this was 838. the whole time.
I was thinking for a smidge, but then a couple things clicked, which was like, okay, well, Maria died.
Great point.
Maria died, and she also was the Captain Marvel of that universe. In this universe, she is a character named Binary.
Yeah.
Which is a spin-off hero of Captain Marvel. She's like
Who was
in
part
the
of the X-Men?
yeah, in comics, Binary was like the physical embodiment of like the aura of Carol's power that took consciousness and became this hero Binary.
I don't remember that part. I'll take your word for it.
It's like the like first appearance comic things where like times were weird, like 60s to 70s comics. But like here, it does seem like a continuation of Maria seems to spin off of journeys that Carol was supposed to come to, which is funny because like we have not experienced any Carol variants, but we keep getting a lot of Maria variants. So I wonder if like Carol is like the anomaly of the multiverse to be Captain Marvel, which would be interesting.
Great point, because in our universe, Carol does say like it should have been you who went on that practice run or whatever, right? Like it could have easily been Monica.
And she's all, and I love when she's like, I didn't want that. And then these other universes, like Maria is around and she's being a hero, but I don't think in any of those realities she has Monica.
Good point. Yeah.
So that's interesting.
So Maria just yells at Monica. She's like, "Get the fuck away from me!
No, get off! I don't know you."
Oh,
yep, that's Mom. No. But yes, she's and this is, I clocked it because again I was spoiled for this. He walks in the background out of focus, but I saw those blue hands. I saw it holding the clipboard. They didn't use that theme, but they used a couple others actually. They use the theme from X2 and the theme from Days of Future Past melded together. Well, I read the fucking credits in the ending. I stayed.
I stayed too. I didn't read the credits, but
I was like, look out for like when the music credits start because I'm like, all right, the credits are about to end. Here we go. Yeah.
So this was Kelsey Grammer.
This was Kelsey Grammer returning as character Beast. Doing
this was spoiled too.
Yes. In the last like couple weeks.
Okay.
I'm just like, damn it. But yeah, he's here. He's looks to be mocap effect this time around.
He did look different. I couldn't put a word on it, but okay, mocap. Okay.
Both other times he was in a prosthetic makeup, which was interesting because it always left his head like looking a little bit bigger than the rest of his body because it's so much makeup to add on. But this was interesting here because he definitely looks taller. He looks like a bigger individual, but it was cool. He's wearing the lab coat. He's got black and yellow colored X-Men pants on, and he's just like, hey, how's our friend? We don't really know what's going on with her. She might have some hysteria going on. She doesn't know where she is. He's like, hey, we're hoping to figure that all out. Charles wants an update. So Charles is live, so it's not 838. I do question if this is going to be continuing off of the ending of Days of Future Past timeline, which I wouldn't mind. Maybe, but it's also gets you question because somebody like this character Binary is here, so it's like unless she's a mutant, which I don't think, that means other heroes exist in this world as well, not just the mutants. So it's interesting. We also we see that they're in the basement of the X-Mansion with the door in the back.
But didn't this version of Captain Marvel play with X-Men? Like in the 90s, Captain Marvel was part of the X-Men in a way, or at least Rogue as Captain Marvel.
There was a thing where like Rogue took Captain Marvel's power. She Miss Marvel at the time, but not Kamala Miss Marvel. There's another Miss Marvel. There's a lot.
That's what I thought. I thought there was some kind of Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, something that was with the X-Men, so that kind of worked for me.
Yeah, it definitely could pan out. I'm just trying to go off of existing pre-X-Men continuity that we've experienced, which has just been solely mutants in the timeline.
True. Yeah.
A3 was our first introduction of like the X-Men are here with other heroes.
Yeah. So this is at the end of the post credit.
Yeah, just about. Like Beast walks away, and then Maria asks Monica who she is, and Monica's just like, "Ah, shit, where the fuck am I?" You know.
Yeah. Then like spins, and it's like the end. Monica looks at the camera like, "I'm screwed."
So it's over.
So Nathan, where the fuck did this lead? Are we going to see any of these characters again?
I think this probably you get a connection as soon as Deadpool 3.
Wow, with Monica?
Probably it could probably be how we can get her back in a timely fashion, because Deadpool, from what I've heard for rumors, he's going to be popping to different universes. I know there were some rumors that they're going to do Deadpool kills Marvel Universe, but it'd be the Foxverse. Current rumor, for anyone listening, current rumor is that Deadpool is going to be looking for different variants of Wolverine, and comes to find that the Hugh version is the best one. So he like pulls him out begrudgingly to Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. He's like, I don't want to fucking do this shit. He doesn't want to be there. I think is what I'm hearing. Execution is key. We'll see how things are going.
It sounds extremely. I'm saying Deadpool. It sounds extremely meta, but that's Deadpool. But like,
the premise itself kind of sounds like how we were like, you're bringing Hugh back after Logan, and it's just like it seems like he's in character feeling the same way. It's like, what am I doing here? But that's always been the thing with his relationship.
And they keep saying like the Logan timeline's remaining intact. He's not taking him from Logan.
Yeah,
he's taking him from a different time stream in general.
And I felt like that way from day one anyway, because there's so many variant timelines. It's like, that's fine.
It's infinite timeline. Just take him out from another world.
Yeah, it's a lock. It's fine. They're not gonna grab him from the movie Logan, because that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. So then you think Deadpool goes to this universe?
Potentially, because I think right now, because with Secret Wars coming, we're gonna have so many pre-established heroes. And the reason I brought up why I think they'd probably be headed towards a post Days of Future Past timeline is because that ending had every prime X-Men character alive and well and ready to go and able to thrive. And Feige, who's a big fan, would be like, all right, I got all these pieces I can work with. This is great.
So yeah, it's just interesting to me. I don't know when we'll see like the Beast or other X-Men characters again. The Beast you can kind of get away with because it's not really a crucial character. Sorry, but like I don't know. I wasn't expecting this big of an X-Men presence in a Captain Marvel movie. But yeah, like you said, we are getting a lot of X-Men next year with Deadpool meeting Wolverine and presumably a lot of other X-Men characters.
Yeah.
So. Are we getting a lot of X-Men characters? Like, is Magneto going to be in there? Is that what rumors are saying?
I think as many people as you can get. I mean, the fact that they were able to get Patrick Stewart, I can imagine they might be able to.
Ian McKellen.
You give him enough money.
90?
I think so. And I'm sure it's something he wouldn't necessarily be that interested in, but they'll shovel the money to get him.
Oh my god! Just bring back Fassbender. He's young. He can do it.
You're right, and I would love to see that. I want to see the young cast as well. I think they're phenomenal.
Why are we shoving 90 million? I love Ian McKellen. He's an iconic actor, one of the greatest of all time. Let him rest. Really? Like, are we that much of a fans where we have to see old Magneto rather than the best Magneto? Fassbender? I don't know.
Well, it's funny because they did that in Days of Future Past, and we were all like, "This is amazing."
That was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
it worked then. Because the last X-Men movie was like Last Stand was 2007.
That was 6.
6.
Yeah,
and then
that was an 8-year gap between Ian McKellen playing the character again for the final time.
Yep, and it worked. I thought it was the final time. I'm like, let him rest. Let him cook.
Sure.
But yeah, him playing him again would be weird. But I have no idea what Deadpool 3 is going to be about. So
At this point, I just think I don't think anybody's off the table. Is the thing.
oh wow, okay.
Like even to the point, I'm sure they will shell out the money for a visual gag to kill fucking Fan Four Stick. Honestly,
Really? Oh wow.
They'll probably do that.
Wow. Like Deadpool kills the Fox universe.
I mean, Evan, we saw a report where fucking Elektra from the Daredevil movies coming back in some project. So it's like
I'm forgetting all these reports. Okay, so
yeah, so it's like again, nothing's off the table.
Feige just wants to bring all these Fox characters just to kill them off and start anew. Which okay. But yeah, I'm just interested. Like Monica sitting with these other X-Men characters, how she can get back? Are these X-Men characters gonna be the ones that we stick with, or I don't know.
Well, if we're doing the full like potential MCU reboot timeline, then anything can happen post. I imagine that then we'll get fresh faces, but for now, they want to wrangle old and new for the Secret War.
I want fresh,
and you'll get new. It. You'll get it after. But there is also new that you're getting with the old.
What the fuck does that mean?
It's like we're getting introduced new heroes in the present time right now, and you're going to be following them with all these veteran characters in the lead up into Secret Wars, and then after that, you'll get your new.
I want new now.
You have it in other characters. You want 100% new. But yeah, I don't know. Fucking pick and choose what you watch. I don't fucking know.
True.
It's your fault that you're upset.
Just give me all Kate stories. She's new. That'd be great. Give me all Kate and Kamala or Kate and Yelena.
Do we get Kate and Echo?
Echo.
Echo. I saw the Echo trailer finally. It looks great.
It's great, right? I think it looks good. Looks like a great TV show. Not saying everything else was ass, but like because we just watched Loki. But like, it's funny that one of the most uniquely looking TV shows that the MCU is doing is the one that they get shafted. Yeah. Like releasing all the same day. I think we should split up when we do that eventually in January. We should like split it up. Like 1 week we do one half, and then the other week we do the second half of the show.
That'd be fair because there's so much to cover.
It'll only be 5 episodes, but like.
Oh well, I mean, shit. I don't know. I feel like we can cover them all. I think
just service all the episodes.
I know. Well, then let's take.
It's been a month going over 4 episodes.
Supersized episode to do, like 30 minutes per episode.
Okay, we'll see how in depth the episodes are. Yeah. Because some of them are just Echo walking through New York. We're like, okay, we can not do this.
I'm surprised how like there's just marketed at the forefront TVMA. Like someone got shot in the face in the trailer.
Yeah, Kingpin's brutally beating somebody with his bear.
I was taken aback. There's still continuity with the eye patch, so that's
yeah. They watched Hawkeye.
I hope. Because again, this, Evan, we might have something on our hands where we're just like, what do you mean we're getting a random Echo spinoff? What is this? What are we doing? And then we'll go in, similarly with like Bad Batch.
But at least I was excited for Echo. Like I think Echo, especially with the trailer now, looks good. Even with the trailer for Bad Batch, I was like, I'm not sure about this, fam.
Yeah, no, I was never like off board with Echo. Like I really liked her performance in Hawkeye.
Yeah. Hopefully it comes out and we're like, oh, this is so great. Why did they dump it all at once? That's what I want.
Yeah.
But yeah, the future of Marvel looks very interesting, dude. Like we're getting X-Men. So we got X-Men teases in the Miss Marvel series saying that she's a mutant. Yeah. And then her next appearance, we also get X-Men stuff. So like this is
that's probably how we have it tied in the Marvels. It's because Kamala is officially established, I think, as the first mainline mutant of the MCU. So
I just thought that too, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just came to me. So yeah. When's the next?
We're gonna have to do this rebooted timeline in order to have like, here's the expansion in New York. It's here now. Here's Magneto. He went through the Holocaust. our qualm from last week.
I still don't know how they do it. Yeah, I mean, just bring him back. Just put in a not young Magneto, but just a 40 to 50-year-old Magneto from the past into the present.
Yeah.
Back to the past, Samurai Jack.
You haven't watched, right?
I love Samurai Jack.
Okay. There's the final season you didn't watch.
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Where he finds a girl and they fall in love.
Yeah, we didn't. We had a conversation where one of us missed it.
Enemies to lovers. Was it Carson?
No, this is recent. This is a few episodes ago.
We both watched Samurai Jack.
I brought up you saw the finale of Samurai Jack? You saw the the tragedy?
Yes.
Your Loki Sylvia instance.
But yeah, the final season was so incredible. She was sent to kill him.
I think it was the same voice actress who plays Azula.
I think so too.
It's great.
Who I heard recently in something. I think it was Invincible. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Evan, I still haven't seen the Netflix Avatar trailer.
Oh, it's good.
When does it come out?
TBA 2024.
Oh, it's like Christmas this year. I'll wait. No.
I would assume between March and May.
That works.
Between March and summer. Let's say that. It's not fall. It's not early. I think it's the middle of the year. But yeah, that looks good. Arcane season 2 drops November 2024. Hopefully, they drop it the same way they did season 1, where they did 3 acts every week.
Mm-hmm.
3 episodes 1 week, 3 episodes the next week, 3 episodes the final week. Because Arcane's still one of the best shows of all time. Period. All time. It's magic. I watched it it's it's easily one of my most rewatched shows in recent memory. Because there are only 9 episodes. So we got to do a commentary about that, or we're going to watch it together, or something. Yeah, till next November. You have time.
We should commentary, because so far I've still only seen episode 1.
And we watch episode 1. We'll watch it again.
Yeah, because it's been a minute for me too. So.
Okay, this went longer than I thought.
Yeah. Where can they find you?
Find me on Twitter, Harris EV9 XJ9. No.
Put Jenny in Secret Wars.
Yes.
Oh, fuck! Hold on, real quick. The opening of the Marvels with Kamala's animation.
Fun, great,
wonderful.
Yeah,
loved it.
I was like, that's how you infuse what her show is to the movie.
Yeah, it's adorable. She was drawing a frame. She was like, why is it so hard to draw hands? I never felt more seen.
Yeah. Follow me on Twitter, Harris EV9, retweeting everything about Attack on Titan. It's been a week since Attack on Titan ended, and it's very sad. Anime has been very good, though. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 dropped one of the best anime episodes I've ever seen. Unbelievable episode came out on Thursday. This season has been spectacular for me. Anime 2023, it's just been amazing overall. So I'm always tweeting about that. Now that Big Brother 25 has ended, 100-day season has ended. I am free from Big Brother till next summer.
Is Survivor on?
Survivor's on. Survivor's amazing. And Amazing Race. So Survivor and Amazing Race is my Wednesdays, but still. Big Brother's over. Now I'm trying to do one movie a day till the end of the year. I've been doing pretty good so far. I'm probably going to skip Wednesdays because too much TV comes on Wednesdays. But I'm at 74 movies now this year because I just watched The Holdovers.
Oh.
I have yet to see The Killer, so I'll be doing 75 by tomorrow. So 25 more movies to try to get to 100. I haven't gone past 100 since 2018 or something.
Every day I wake up.
Pre-COVID. So I'm trying to get to 100 movies. I get pretty close every year. I get 93 or 94, 95-ish. I'm trying to get to 100 this year. I think I can do it. So, yeah. Thank you. So, yeah, I'm tweeting about movies, TVs. I'm reading Percy Jackson. I'm doing good so far.
Nice. I'm at 35 movies this year, I think, give or take. Maybe just 30. Maybe
Give
I'll
or
get to
take.
35 at the end of the year.
Give or take 30.
Yeah. But my MCU rankings are up to 43. So
God.
consistent. The Marvels is currently at 20.
Oh, good. That's a good ranking for it.
Yeah.
I think mine would be in there, like upper middle. Yeah.
And I gave it 4 stars, so it tells you how much I fucking
Wow.
love the MCU.
Wow.
So I'm telling you, like for the longest time, my lowest MCU ranking was 3 stars. And Ant-Man's what, 2.5 for me? 2.5.
If it was only like the trailers.
If fuck it, I'm telling you, Evan, they baited me. Why the fuck did they? No. Why did the fuck?
Why did you say it? Why did you say that like homeboy from Succession? What the fuck are you wearing, Greg?
But why did they edit like, oh yeah, flashback to Cassie from the first show and give more time with your daughter? Oh, the main character getting focus? Who would have thought? Not me. Kang, we had a deal. Did we? Should we watch that movie? I want to see the Kang scenes again.
Should we? I don't know.
Not we. Well, we don't have to do it.
Oh.
Not late. We'll do it later. We'll eventually do the whole MCU.
Speaking of rankings, though, dude, with all the hype I'm seeing about Godzilla -1, I'm betting that's gonna be your new favorite movie of the year.
Oh, I guarantee it. They had
Could it be Spider-Verse?
Yeah, for me probably. This is my Spider-Verse.
I'm hearing so many spectacular things. I'm like, this looks great. I haven't watched any of the recent trailers, by the way. There's like this trailer coming out. People are like, see the atomic breath. And I'm like, nope.
Avoiding.
Nope.
Because the trailers have only partially alluded, and I'm not looking at it. I don't want to see it. Because, yeah, it literally shows how it looks. I want to wait.
So I saw the posters. They look good. But yeah.
Yeah, I've it already released in Japan, so like there's a lot of like stuff that can like come out, obviously. And like they're promoting a lot of clips on Japanese TV, and I don't want to see anymore.
Same.
You know, I've spoken about the whole Beyonce issue taking over the IMAX, and I'm sad. So I have my 5 p.m. Dolby early access, and then they actually had they added a 8 p.m. Dolby of the same day, and then they added the actual like show times for like playing in standard, but it's in my fucking wanky ass small auditoriums. They're like 4x3 rows, and I'm like,
we talked about it. Yeah,
I was like, that's so disrespectful. I can't do it. So I will be double featuring -1 on the Dolby. Wow. I will do it because like this is gonna be my only chance to see it on like a proper big screen premium as opposed to tiny.
Did you see Shin Godzilla at home or in theaters?
I ended up seeing it at home. I don't know if it ever came around to my theater at the time because it was primarily Japan release. It may have had a limited release somewhere, but I don't know. It was also weird because it was promoted the title as Godzilla Resurgence for its English title for forever, which
gross.
That's weird. So Shin Godzilla, there we go. But this is also -1 is Shin Godzilla was already held in high regard. It was the #1 movie in Japan that year. To your dismay of arrival, motherfucker, you didn't see Shin Godzilla. You can't speak.
No, Your Name also came out in 2016.
All right,
that was the bigger mistake.
Did it come out in 2016?
Yes, yes, it did. I saw it in 2017.
I watched it happen. I saw it happen. Okay, that's fair. But anyway, my point being, -1 is being held in even higher regard than Shin Godzilla was. So I'm excited. It's classic Japan.
The premise is one of the best premises I've ever seen in any story.
Simple and effective.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I can't wait to talk about it. I'm going to gush about it when it comes out on the 29th. So catch it around, I don't know, 30th for review because I'll have to talk about it immediately.
29th is like the earliest screening, right?
Yeah, it's the early access, and then nationwide December 1st.
Okay, same week. Okay.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, follow me _TimeBlazer. Make a show called Time Blazer with co-star and creative consultant Evan Harris.
Co-conspirator Evan Harris.
What do you think will happen, Evan? What's your conspiracy
for Time Blazer?
Yeah.
Ben kills everybody. I pull a Deadpool.
Do you want this?
No.
What if I told you everybody dies in season 1, Evan?
I'm walking off set.
We'll see what happens. So, yeah, if you guys enjoy this, make sure you like, button, subscribe, now ring the bell. Fuck it. Oh my God, it's a 3-hour podcast again.
How did we do that? When did that happen?
Because, Evan, I am more than a fan of...
Oh my God.
Have you seen the show?
Alert. No, I haven't.
It's the back is amazing. It's like a tour dates of the different MC.
Oh, I have seen that. Yes, it's that. That was during the Avengers Endgame marathons.
Yeah, this
right?
goes all the way up to Far From Home, I think.
Oh wow, that happened.
All right, we're done.
Bye, guys.